Was she mad at you? If you knew or understood why she loved, realize why she is precious, she important to us. How much she means to the future without the damage is done. You stand accused, the abuser who murdered daughters and sons. Kissed by a star, shadow killer light from afar. Eyesight with a spark, search for what she find in the dark. Small in the brain, big brain, mountain the heart. Good with a secret, no shame, like her, she smart. Maybe inside another life she find us some fine arts, but we ain't born with choices, so she hopeless when life's hard. Lost and alone for naked, live finding a way. Making alliance, be a loyal dog and wait for a day. The corner warned to the street lights, back to the stay. The curb heard the crosswalk cry as she walked away. The church was her praying, she was one they could save. A disappointed system couldn't make her a slave.
If I could get past the day, I'd do it all a different way. I'd give myself half a chance. I wouldn't call the devil out to dance. If I could just catch a break, the differences that I can make, the type of pain that I could take. Yeah, I died before I choose to break.
There she is, I see how you look at her. You wish you could protect her, cause you see something good in her. You see what we all see, there's more than just the hood in her. We can see her greatness and devils trying to shoot at her. Chaos under madness, junkies trying to shoot her up. Omen trying to give her babies, white wolves out to chew her up. She more than just a doorway, it's more than just to shoot 'em up. More than just a poor girl, this cold world is using up. Tragedy, travesty, the murder of her majesty. Complete another blasphemy, end result catastrophe. Generations wiped out, future is a casualty. Anything concerning her, I prefer you asking me. Also do it candidly, in a low tone with reverence. Or end up in a box, standing over you a reverend. She's sacred far as we concerned, this here is a holy place. Big brother, she chose a blowhole to your face.
If I could get past the day, I'd do it all a different way. I'd give myself half a chance. I wouldn't call the devil out to dance. If I could just catch a break, the differences that I can make, the type of pain that I could take. Yeah, I died before I choose to break.
Played to an early grave in a game she thought she could play. She might have made it a business to be a business one day, but all that business is finished. No hope for words left to say. No more lessons from mistakes. No graduation day. No getting over the awkwardness of being a teen. No more late nights on the block, pearling blunts for the team. More tears and vigils, more blood stains the streets. More division between the living, cutting flesh for the beef. Vengeance is on the table. This revenge is so sweet. Insatiable is the appetite, awaken the beast. Irrational thoughts and actions make the most sense to me. What's happening is gonna happen. We gon' die, we eat everything, every single motherfucking piece. And even then, no comparison to what you owe me. I have nothing, and only one thing left to gain. I promise I'ma walk you through flames, screaming a name.
If I could get past the day, I'd do it all a different way. I'd give myself half a chance. I wouldn't call the devil out to dance. If I could just catch a break, the differences that I could make, the type of pain that I could take. Yeah, I died before I choose to break.
When it's hard to see the road in the distance, when the only thing you know is you're distant. When it's hard to hold your soul when you lift it, when you're broken and you can't leave your kids shit. You try, but your eyes tell lies, your smile's a disguise. No one knows you dying inside. When it hurts to feel, when you're bothered by the world, it's real. When you're staring at that bottle of pills, the bottom of that bottle of swill, the wrong end of that cold black steel, the great unknown. When everywhere but here's like home. You a man now but don't feel grown. Pushed through existence, current comfort zone is indifference. So uncomfortable in your skinness, hurting everybody you live with. When you're feeling like it's time you should end this, know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Just know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Know that you're needed. Know that you're necessary. You just depleted. You can be legendary. You not beneath it. You can get over. We can ride in and thieve it. Soak up a sunrise. Stare at a blue sky. Feel something brand new. Realize with new eyes. Uncover new truths. Find where the pain lies. Live like you're lightning. Cut through the gray skies. I know life is frightening. You can't help but ask why. Life doesn't like me. It's passing me right by. The future just fights me. And much rather I die than have to enlighten me and show me how I'd rise if given a chance. Some love in advance, a bit of compassion, some luck with romance. But why does it matter? Will is what does. You have the will to survive, so know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Just know that you're loved. 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 Salutes. Welcome back to Shael Reacts. I am your host, Shael. You can call me Shy. I appreciate everyone being here tonight. Welcome. It's been a couple of days. Salutes to y'all. Appreciate y'all being here. I know it's late on a Sunday night, but it's where we at right now. Right, appreciate you guys for being here. Salutes to you. My stream deck kind of crapped itself today, so I'm gonna be doing a little extra production in the background to keep things moving smoothly. Again, I appreciate you guys for being here. We would have been here sooner, but Friday night was getting ready to go live and got the call that a beloved family member was in a grave position in her last moments, and decided not to do the live. wasn't in the headspace for it. And yesterday, this beloved loved one passed away. So that curbed yesterday's live stream and some of today's live stream. Or some of today. Ate up some of today. Didn't decide to get on until late. But here we are. Again, I played Know That You Love at the beginning because I believe there's a lack of love for us and from us. And, I just want to keep that bug out there. And I want to send a salute to Old Soul and his family. Again, I'm not going to get into many details, but, a beloved member of the family has passed on. And I want to have a shot right now. Rest in peace, Abu. We love you. You stay with us. Appreciate you. To the rest of y'all, salutes to y'all for being here. The usual suspects are in the building. Late night. I don't expect everybody to be here, but I appreciate those that are. And I appreciate those that catch us on the replay. We got a couple of things to look at today. Let's get through the chat real quick. We short tonight. We got Old 30 North up first. Salutes to you, sir. Thank you for being here. Jonathan Pantoja, per usual. Thank you, sir. We in here. Salutes. Big June said, Shael, sir, brother, I send mine. Send mine's back. Salutes to you, Big June. Appreciate you. PR Black, salutes to you. Big June sends his condolences. Thank you very much. God bless the dead. Salutes, Think Like a Kingpin in the building. PR Black, Jonathan Pantoja, I appreciate you guys. And, salute y'all for being here. We're going to hang out today. We're going to do a little paperwork party. We're going to look through some new Crybaby Killer documentary footage that's out there. And we're going to hang out for a bit again. Per usual, we got the housekeeping to do. We got the power chat activated. There's 2 links to that in the description. Just so Jonathan knows, we have not gotten the voices figured out yet, but it will be figured out by the end of the week. Again, things have been put, to the background. Shout out Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Appreciate you being here. Condolences are appreciated. Thank you. Salute PR Black. So we got those 2 links in there. We'll play. Let's play a dono from Jonathan. Dono from Jonathan last week. Salute to Jonathan for supporting this channel on this level. You hit the link in the description, the Power Chat links, the Streamlab link. You can have your comment post directly to the screen in the middle of the show and be acknowledged. Here we go.
Jonathan Pentwee donated $5. Salutes Chill on the Great Live. I was good with the other lingo. I need a breakdown for these other names and terms right here though lol. Shout out to the chat and the usual suspects. Hit the like button, it's free.
That's it. The man said hit the like button. It's free. Don't cost you a thing. So appreciate y'all for doing that. I thank you in advance because I know everybody's going to hit that like button because they know how much this channel needs the help and how much that like button helps the channel. All right. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate Jonathan Pantoja. That'll be what your comment will look like up there. Little by little, I'm trying to integrate more things into this live stream. It's just taking time. It's technical. Again, I'm by myself. I do the editing. I do the thumbnails. I do the promo. I do everything. So, and that's aside from my other jobs. But, and we'll get to that. I got clapped. I posted up my TV appearance and we got copyright clapped. I'm going to see if we could play a piece or not, a little piece of something today and see if we could get that off without getting knocked down. But, again, so that's our power chat. We also have super thanks, super chat, and super stickers available for those that want to support the channel on that level. Otherwise, those that cannot, please hit that like button. It does not cost you a thing. Shout out Pelon LA, Kuvale, Soda, and more. Yeah, now I'm Voodoo Rangers in hand right now, so that's how it's going down. Salutes to y'all. I'm hanging out. I know everybody got to work tomorrow. My apologies for popping up late. Again, you guys can exit when you please and catch the replay tomorrow. Make sure you catch the replay. Hit that like button. What else we got? So, boom, we got that out the way. Super thanks, super chat, super stickers. We also have the Ill Shop. So, let me make sure y'all get a shot at that. The Ill Shop. Another way to support the channel on another level. Again, my Stream Deck did an update and nothing stuck. So, I'm sitting here flying blind. Let's see if this will do it. Wow, that did it. All right, we got our usual suspects logo. Different color combinations here. Usual suspects. Salutes to them. All right, we got some other designs coming as well. It's just, I'm also the designer. We got our No Pillow Talk shirt for the young hustler in your life who you want to keep his mouth shut, to remind himself to not say too much because everybody's listening. All right, we got our El Cartel, different color combos for that. All right, El Cartel gear. All right, we got our El Guapo. No, we also got our single color logo El Cartel joints here. We got our El Guapo barbecue grill for the boss of the backyard in the middle of the man cave right here. El Guapo, not to be confused with El Chapo. All right, and we got that in different color combinations. So make sure y'all go check out the Il Shop. It's another way to support the channel on that level. Again, I'll drop this I'll drop the link in the chat. Il Shop link. I'll also drop the link to our Discord. All right. Also, the Discord will be making some changes and some policy and some different rooms and some fun stuff in there. It's just going to take a little bit of time. All right. Till I'm in a position where I can hire somebody, you're stuck with me. All right. Appreciate y'all for being here. All right. At the same time, let me drop these links to these playlists here. We got the Cartel Wives. For those that have not seen our breakdown of the Cartel Wives book, we got it there. It's like 34 chapters. We have our Surviving El Chapo playlist where we cover the Surviving El Chapo podcast. Got another playlist here of a reaction that I did to the tragic death of Zach TV1 and how the internet handled what happened to him and caused what happened to other people, if not in part as a whole. And we got my true crime playlist where I cover body cam and arrests, bad police, dumb criminals, all that good stuff. So all of those links are in the chat. All right, boom. That's taken care of. I'm going to throw hundreds up for y'all in the chat. Hundreds up. Thank you guys for being here. Excuse my demeanor. I'm probably a little low key today. It's just, you know, I didn't want to go through the night and not at least, you know, jump on stream and hang out with you guys. It's been a minute. All right? The birthday lag was a lot. You know what I mean? All right. All right. Shout out to Crash Out. Crash Out probably, I don't think he's in the chat right now. Crash Out hit me earlier. Crash Out, so I'm going to put you on blast real quick, but I'm doing it out of love because it's funny. And it's a lesson learned for us on this channel. It was a great idea. He came up in the DMs and he was like, "Yo, Shy, you need to cover this dude Saul. You know, he did this, and he snatched up one of the twins, and he did this and this. And as per usual, I do this a lot in the comments. I'll just link somebody to the video and be like, all right, done." You know what I'm saying? So I sent him that, and he realized, okay, you covered it already. I gotta go back, start at one, and see what you guys covered already. And I think that's a good practice for everybody. That way, when we're talking right now in the present time, you under the same understanding that we are, and you know what we already know. You're not just speculating. You already know why, because we've covered it and we've kind of, you know, disseminated the truth from the trash, and you know, you can figure it out for yourself from there. You know. So salutes to Crash Out, though he was on top of it. It was a great idea, but it was an idea that we've done already. But I salute him for that type of you know, he's pushing for the channel. He wants things to happen. You know, even though he didn't know that it already happened, he wants these things to happen. There's a lot of you guys out there like that, and I appreciate that. So we'll be getting to, you know, all the different topics that we can get to. The ones we covered already, we'll link you to the video. It's all good. Appreciate you anyway. But yeah, shout out Crash Out. Very proactive of him and very proactive of the guys. You know, salutes to Big June, Jonathan. You know, all of these guys are in the Discord. Somebody comes in there and doesn't know where to go, what to do, you know, how it works. They've been nothing but helpful. So I appreciate you guys. That makes me feel like it ain't just me, you know, handling the load of trying to get everybody in the right place, you know. For those that got a notification at 2 o'clock in the morning yesterday for a video that was dropping, my apologies to you. I don't know how that happened. I think that was Discord. They were probably down all day, or the webhook was probably down all day, and then it kicked in the middle of the night. I was still up, and I didn't even realize that the notification came through. Jonathan Pantoja pointed it out today, so my apologies to y'all that thought that we had a show coming yesterday. Well, we thought about it. Again, salutes to y'all. So let's check out this. There's a new video out. There's a channel called, I can't really say the word. I'm going to say Epilogue Chronicles. Right? Epilogue Chronicles. And they got a video called The Ultimate Treachery.
Or kidnapping. Everything changed. Americans.
All right, let me start the recording here because this will be an edited video. So it's a channel called Killer Chronicles, and they have a feature on our boy, the crybaby killer, Saul. He's probably salty at how we view that kind of shit, like who he is and what he did, as far as, you know, you was kidnapping old ladies, man. You know what I'm saying? Are you the bottom of the barrel? No, but close. Very close. Bottom of the barrel, you know what that's about. The bottom of the barrel is you hurt kids, you hurt, you know, old people. Like, you didn't reach the bottom of the barrel, bro. You know? So he's not quite there. I mean, he's there in the sense that, you know, he'll arrest your grandmother, right? And then have your grandmother call him for ransom money and then charge her this ransom money for the rest of her life. Like, some bottom of the barrel shit. But he had help with police. But Killer Chronicles did a video on it. I haven't seen the whole thing. I'm going to watch it with y'all. See if there's anything new that this piece of content can bring to the table as far as the story that we know. And we'll take it from there. We'll see if they uncovered anything that we didn't know already. I look forward to that kind of information. I want to know new things. Sometimes you find something new, but that new thing is just something that was added through the telephone game, and it's not even legit, you know. So you gotta vet those things too. So we got that. Let's check this out. Shout out to Killer Chronicles. I will link him. As a matter of fact, let me link the video in the chat right now. So those that want to go see the entire video without me on it, here you go. All right, that's up in there. And it's a slower paced video for the sake of our live stream and the time that we're taking. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. I'm going to make sure that it's still, you know, you can still hear it and understand what they're saying. So let me hit this, and I don't know, maybe I'll put this at I'll put it at 1.5 times the speed. Let's check it out. Again, salutes to you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Salute. Smoke them if you got them. Drink them if you got them. If you're sober, here's a hug for you. Salutes to you. I appreciate you. To everybody having a bad time, there's a new sun tomorrow morning, guaranteed. So, you know that you're loved. All right? To everybody going through it, get through it. You'll be all right. With that said, let's do this. Here we go. Again, my stream deck is down, so I gotta do this. And make sure this volume is up here, and let's get it.
City. You pass a homeless man with a... Imagine you...
Y'all let me know if it's going too fast. If it's going too fast, y'all let me know. I'll slow it down. No problem. All right.
Imagine you are walking through a big American city. You pass a homeless man with a shopping cart on the sidewalk. But in the blink of an eye...
Jonathan Pantry donated $5. Shout out Chiel for the love. Due to your hard work with Chicago PD and the loss, I wasn't planning on asking, but I appreciate you, my dude. Thank you for your consistent, dedicated, resilient hard work. Shout out to the chat, hit like.
Salute to Jonathan Pantoja. For the $5 dono, he says shout out Shail for the love. Due to your hard work with Chicago PD and the loss, I wasn't planning on asking, but I appreciate you. Asking what? If we were gonna have a stream? Always feel free, dog. Don't worry. Shout out Shail for the love. Due to your hard work with Chicago PD and the loss, I wasn't planning on asking, but I appreciate you, my dude. Thank you for your consistent, dedicated, resilient hard work. Shout out to the chat. Hit the like. It's free. Hit the like. It's free. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, Jonathan. Appreciate your $5 dono and the sentiment, sir. Feel free to ask. You know what I'm saying? You know, I had thoughts yesterday of going live. Oh, Jonathan, you having a problem with the power chat? No, I don't know. Yours just went through, so it seems okay. Or did you use something else? Let me know. But yeah, I had thoughts of going live with the phone yesterday, but shit, the sun was up for a lot of hours, and right when the sun was up, I was already, you know, I was drinking, and you know, we was going numb. You know, and getting through it yesterday. But yeah, so salutes to you. Always feel free to ask. Appreciate you on the Chicago PD. We'll try to get to that at some point of this stream without getting shut down. We'll try to get to see if we can play that without getting shut down by YouTube. Maybe at the end. I don't know. We'll see. But again, I appreciate you, Jonathan. Thank you. You let me know if the power chat's not working. That seems to have gone through. So I don't know if you know there's a delay either on the live chat or the power chat, and you ain't seen it yet, but it went through. You let me know. All right, let's do this.
Imagine you are walking through a big American city. You pass a homeless man with a shopping cart on the sidewalk. But in the blink of an eye, everything changes. Suddenly, you've been placed in a bear hug and dragged backwards into a van where two others are...
Hold on one sec. Let's get to the chat before we go. Shout out Pelon LA. Press the twins on Los Talibanes del Prieto. I'm not gonna press them on nothing. La Familia Torres Felix. And if the Mama Luke's brought diamonds and gold so their grandkids and kids can be well off, because I know I would have. So that would be a great idea. A little baggie full of rocks, precious rocks and stones and shit. Shout out 24K in the building. Sha'el, Fire Sign, salutes to you. Belong said, Chingón el canal de Shai, salutes to you. I appreciate you guys being here. But yeah, I will ask them about Los Talibanes. I don't know much about them. I will ask them about the Torres Felix family and see if they got a bag of diamonds stashed somewhere. I'm pretty sure they're not going to tell me. Pretty sure they're not going to tell me if they got a bag of diamonds stuck somewhere. You know what I mean? Appreciate it. Salutes to y'all. Hundreds up, hundreds up in the chat for y'all. Right.
Imagine you are walking through a big American city. You pass a homeless man with a shopping cart on the sidewalk. But in the blink of an eye, everything changes. Suddenly, you've been placed in a bear hug and dragged backwards into a van where two others are waiting. They hog tie you and duct tape your eyes shut, then take you to a secluded area where you are informed that you will only be released if one of your loved ones is able to cough up hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash or property.
Understand something. This doesn't just go for hustlers and dealers. This goes for the young lady on the street, the older gentleman walking his dog, the dude that's on his phone arguing with his girl as he walks with his head down, the dude sitting in the car rolling the blunt, the dude sitting in the car going through his emails. I don't know how it is for anybody else anywhere else, you know what I'm saying? But sitting in your car, not paying attention, head not on a swivel, that's the type of thing that gets you done with and done quick. Shout out to Yael in the building. What's up, Shy? Salutes to you. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. 48 in the building. Yo, what we talking about today? Today we talking about Saul Rodriguez. I believe that was his last name, Rodriguez, the crybaby killer. I don't know if you've seen our... as a matter of fact, maybe I should link those. I'm going to link you guys to the... if you don't know the backstory of Saul and the twins and how this all went down, you're going to get it from here. But if you want my reaction and my coverage of it, you could check it out. I'm going to link you guys to at least part one. From part one, the rest of them are linked at the end as the next video. But you guys could check that out. This guy was just the bottom of the barrel. He was good at what he did, though. He figured out him and his police friends figured out a way to get it done. All right, here's the link. So here's the Saul story. So yeah, we're watching a documentary from a dude called Killer Chronicles. I've also linked him. If you scroll up in the chat, matter of fact, I'll pin this video up to the top. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it gotta be here. No, that's ill shot. Here it goes. I'll pin it to the top. This is the documentary that we're watching right now. We're watching this to see if we could learn anything new that we didn't cover in our story. You know what I mean? But again, he's talking about you're getting in your car, you're minding your business, you get snatched up. This could be anybody. All right? They don't just have to bear hug you and drag you. They could put a hammer to your head, whatever it is. But just be aware where you at. Be aware that people like Saul exist. People worse than Saul exists. Saul was looking for this big paper, right? There's a dude that'll do this to you for $15 to heal himself. You know what I mean? So, ladies, gentlemen, everybody, pay attention, man. We in a new world, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes is out here thirsty. Shout out to Sky Enterprise. Appreciate you. Hundreds up in the chat. But again, this isn't just exclusive to big timers like the twins. This is for everybody. Keep your head on a swivel. Don't put yourself in a corner,
For dozens of people living in the Chicago area during the early 2000s, this scenario became a disturbing reality. For years, a group of elite professional kidnappers operated in secret, targeting members of the city's underworld who were thought to be untouchable. Some victims were tortured, others were murdered. Almost all were treated like property, kept in a desolate area for days without bathroom breaks while the ransoms were being negotiated. But time and again, something curious happened.
So tell me something. Oh, so this is like a Saul? No, this is Saul. He's talking about Saul. I don't know if I missed the context of that, but yeah, he's talking about Saul. Think about what he just said too, though. He said, you know, you put in a desolate spot. You know, you can't use the bathroom. You can't take a shower. You can't do this. You're denied good food. You're denied nourishment. Sounds like the same jail that they put. J and Pete in. You know what I'm saying? The way they treated them. All right, Pete said it's too fast, so I'm gonna slow it down. 1.25, and if not, let me know, Peter. If it's too slow at 1.25, I'll just put it normal. All right, it's not a problem for me. I'm just doing it so that, you know, we get through it, but no problem. You seen the video I sent you on IG shot? I have to go remind myself what it is. I'll get in there right now while this is playing.
Just when all hope seemed lost, the very same rich benefactor stepped up to pay the kidnappers off and save the day. The victims were so grateful that they signed over their homes, turned over hundreds of kilos of the very scam, something curious.
Again, for those that didn't cover the story with us, it was a different kind of scam. It wasn't the regular, you know, kidnap for ransom scam. It was, I'm going to snatch up somebody that I know. They're going to know that I'm the only dude that got enough money to get them. They're going to reach out to me. When they reach out to me, I'm going to say, yeah, man, I'm going to rescue you. I'm going to pay your ransom. We're going to walk off into the sunset together. And then you're going to pay me whatever that ransom was for the rest of your life until you're done paying it off and then some. That's a different level. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different scam right there. Now, you think about that with having a team of dudes that's willing to go the extra mile and do dirt. And then you put that also with the fact that you have police help. It's a whole different deal. Shout out Aquino in the chat. Had to check in. Salute Shy watching Mexico versus USA, but I'm still here. Salute to Mexico versus USA. Hope it's a good game. Keep us posted, man. All right, I appreciate you for being here playing double duty. Salute to you. Jonathan Pantoja said this is going to be some Halloween-ish. Bro, this Muppet, Halloween Muppet. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's a different kind of scam right there, man. That's a whole, that's a long game scam right there, you know? And he did it to everybody. If you were his friend, you'd get snatched up. And you'd be in debt to him for the rest of your life.
This happened. Just when all hope seemed lost, the very same rich benefactor stepped up to pay the kidnappers off and save the day. The victims were so grateful that they signed over their homes, turned over hundreds of kilos of cocaine, or paid him back in full in cash after gaining their freedom. The story behind this mysterious group would eventually be brought to the surface, and in the process, expose secrets of Chicago's lucrative.
Think about it. That dude will get the ransom out of you, right? Let's just say you're not a person that's going to pay for the rest of your life, right? You're a dude that wants to knock it out in one go round, right? So, you know, he gets you out the basement. They get you some Wendy's. You eat, you feel better, right? You get a hold of your money that nobody had access to, and you pay him back in full. And then y'all go on as friends. This dude rescued you. He's your savior, your salvation. You probably paid him. I'm definitely sure. Oh, that's another thing. He wasn't just, I'll give you $10,000 for the ransom and save you, and you give me $10,000 back. Nah, he was putting a vig on it too. So they were paying a premium for their own rescue. But imagine that you pay him in full, and now that's it. We're friends again. I don't know nothing about it. We hanging out. It's crazy, dog. The audacity.
Drug trade, corruption in law enforcement, and shocking betrayals that called into question the true value of friendship among thieves. Today's story starts on July 8th, 1999, at an apartment complex on West New York Street in Aurora, Illinois. It was on this date and place that a Chicago narco cop named Glenn Llewellyn arrested Refugio Cortez Ruiz for allegedly having 10 kilograms of cocaine, after he alone spotted Refugio possessing the drugs, while a police surveillance team surrounded the complex in which he lived.
I mean, you can't beat that when you got a partner like Llewellyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hooked up. You good.
Refugio would loudly proclaim his innocence throughout the court process. But as a star witness at the trial, Llewellyn would testify that he observed Refugio Cortez Ruiz poke his head out from an apartment as if he was expecting company, and eventually emerged with a duffel bag that turned out to be full of cocaine. Ruiz Cortez insisted that he'd been framed, that the drugs had been planted on him. But most people who heard this story wrote it off as the excuse of a man who was desperate to escape responsibility after being caught red-handed.
And that's the problem, because even an innocent man, we're going to look at him like he's guilty. Even if the man is innocent, we're going to look at him like he's guilty because we're used to people lying. And that's where it goes. That's the carousel that the world spins on, is people, not believing a person that's telling the truth because there's so many liars in this world, Whether he had 5 keys and they called it 10, it's still a lie, you know what I mean?
He was convicted and sentenced to 17 and a half years in federal prison. A decade would go by before anyone in law enforcement entertained the possibility that Ruiz Cortez had actually been telling the truth.
Damn, boy.
What few people
10 years. Sheesh.
Knew at the time was that 3 years earlier, in 1996, Officer Glenn Llewellyn had signed a secret cooperation agreement with a confidential informant, whose work with the Chicago police was paying big dividends, both figuratively and literally. He was the man who tipped Llewellyn off about drugs at Refugio's apartment, and he likely made $10,000 from this information. Within Chicago police sealed records, this secret informant's name was Bill Pager. To those on the streets, he was...
If you want to make a movie about dude, if you want to tell a dirtbag story like this, right? Which is, it is an amazing concept for a TV show or a movie, right? A dude like Saul and a cop like Llewellyn. It's an amazing concept for a film, right? You want to get everybody involved, you just call the show Bill Pager. That's it. Call it Bill Pager. Everybody's going to wonder what the hell that's about. They're going to come check it out and they're going to find this dirtbag ass story for real.
Was known by his real name, Saul Rodriguez.
Muppet.
And despite his young age, he was fast making a name for himself as a charmer with a knack for networking and earning huge amounts of cash by selling major weight. Saul was a Chicago native who knew his way around the city's drug trade better than most. At just 21, he'd been busted with 13 pounds of marijuana and $8,000 in cash. And it was Officer Glenn Llewellyn who slapped the handcuffs on him.
Daddy.
Llewellyn grew up in New Lenox, Illinois, and worked...
How much luck is that the first cop that you run into, well, I'm sure it's not the first cop he runs into, but you run into a cop in that capacity, and it's like, we're best friends now. We're going to make some shit happen.
...construction in his 20s. But when he joined Chicago Police in 1986, it was the fulfillment of a lifelong dream. By 1996, as Saul was a rising drug dealer, Llewellyn was an up-and-coming narcotics officer. And in a place like Chicago, that meant he had his work cut out for him. Saul's arrest offered a drug cop like Llewellyn a good opportunity to break into the world of drug trafficking from the inside, and Llewellyn immediately worked to put the squeeze on Saul. With Saul still handcuffed in the back, they drove in Llewellyn's patrol car to one of Saul's stash houses, where police were actively searching. The two watched the officers from afar, as Saul pondered whether he'd rather go to prison for whatever they were about to find in his apartment, or go a different route. 3 weeks later, Saul made his choice official.
He didn't know that was his payday. He didn't know that he was going to be the highest paid cop in the history of the Chicago Police Department at this point. He didn't know that.
He signed a cooperation agreement with Llewellyn, establishing that Saul would provide information on local drug traffickers to Llewellyn on a rolling basis. He wasn't working for free. His new supervisor assured him that he'd be paid $1,000 per kilogram of cocaine the police seized. Of course, the agreement said that Saul had to obey the law and cease all unauthorized drug dealing activities.
Sure.
Instead, he saw his newfound status as a paid government informant to simply turn in the competition while continuing to sell drugs like never before. Now, he'd make money from kilos of cocaine seized by narcs like Llewellyn, while also making cash hand over...
So basically, he ended up with the amount of power as compared to what the cartels got. The cartels got the power to have the police come, do their raids, get their enemies, do all of this stuff. But he started doing that on this side with just the smallest amount of power. He had himself a little cop brigade, and, he turned it into a tactic. Crazy.
Fist through selling cocaine in large quantities, all over town. It was a kind of deal that allowed someone to evolve from a kid who'd grown up around gangs in Chicago's back-of-the-yards neighborhood into a high roller, with plenty of cash to burn and invest. But just 7 months into his work as a paid snitch, one of Saul's drug couriers was busted with 15 pounds of marijuana by the DEA, who had been secretly working with the mechanic Saul had hired to install secret compartments inside his courier cars. Once again, he could have ended up in prison if not for Glenn Llewellyn, who made a quick call to DEA Special Agent Al Dosher and got the investigation tabled.
Just a quick call.
With
Just
that,
make a quick
he
call
realized
real
that he had
quick.
something that few drug pounds of marijuana by the DEA.
You make a quick call and you knock it off the DEA's table. Officer Llewellyn.
Who had been secretly working with the mechanic Saul.
Who I also say the judge freed him on some, you watch my back, I watch yours.
Had hired to install secret compartments inside his courier cars. Once again, he could have ended up in prison if not for Glenn Llewellyn, who made a quick call to DEA Special Agent Al Dozier and got the investigation tabled. With that, he realized that he had something that few drug dealers ever experience: immunity from the law. And if there's ever a place where a drug dealer could use legal immunity to thrive, it's Chi-Town. While every metropolitan area in the United States is of course a major drug market, Chicago is uniquely situated. It is a central nervous system for numerous important freeways, railroads, ports, and a major airport. 70% of the US population, as well as the Mexico border, rests within 1 day's drive from Chicago. Inside the city itself are an estimated 100,000 gang members who may be willing and eager to make a living peddling drugs.
I say 200,000, 250.
In whatever form they can. The U.S. Department of Justice has consistently ranked Chicago as either the number 1 or number 2 destination of America's most used imported narcotics, like heroin, cocaine, or marijuana. It should be no wonder, then, that the notorious drug lord and head of the Sinaloa cartel, Joaquin Lorea, better known as El Chapo, referred to Chicago as his, quote, home port. After all, the city helped to make him a billionaire, and 2 of its most famous residents, brothers named Margarito and Pedro Flores, played a major role in this. Known as the Twins, the Flores brothers ultimately went from ultra-rich coke dealers to snitches whose testimony proved crucial for sending El Chapo to the most secure prison on American soil. But in the early 2000s, they were cocaine entrepreneurs and responsible for the distribution of 1 to 2 tons of cocaine every single.
The brothers were a key cog in an international network, taking delivery of about 2 tons of brocaine each month, as well as large quantities of heroin between 2005 and 2008, authorities said.
Month. That kind of weight will earn you just as many friends as enemies, and one of the guys on their lengthy list of friends was Saul Rodriguez himself. Like the Flores brothers, Saul was becoming a millionaire as well, but he had Chicago's public coffers just as much as the cocaine powder to thank for it. Another one of Saul's close friends was Juan Luevano, aka Baby G, and their bond was so strong they'd made a pledge to never sleep with a woman who the other had dated. Unfortunately, Luevano allegedly
Listen, if you gotta make that pledge, there's already a doubt, there's already an insecurity in you, all right? If that's a pledge that you gotta make with your homie, now I'm sure he probably just said it for the sake of saying it in his statement or whatever, but if you gotta go through that and you gotta make a pact with your homie that you're gonna smash none of his chicks, he's not gonna smash none of yours, there's something wrong there. Saul Rodriguez related in his grand jury statement that Juan Luevano was dating his ex-girlfriend, Janet B. He had 1 child with her. Prior to that time, he had been best friends with Baby G. They had an understanding that they would never date the same woman. They had an understanding, huh? They had a lot of insecurities. That's what they had.
Broke this pact by having sex with the mother of Saul's kid, and it angered Saul so much that he set out for revenge. In October 1999, he asked Glenn Llewellyn what would have to happen for someone to go to jail for a long time. Shortly thereafter, Luevano was arrested by a Chicago PD squadron with 2 kilograms of cocaine.
But so he set him up. How can you go to jail for a long time? Set him up with your boy Llewellyn with 2 keys of brocaine and get him out of there.
Luevano's stint in jail was a brief one. He quickly paid bail and was back out on the street.
All right. How do you keep him in jail a long time, huh? You plan it on him, and then you send him to jail, and then he's out right away. Now what?
Luevano likely would have been eventually sent to prison for a long time, just like Refugio Cortez Ruiz, but we'll never know for sure. That's because in 2000, Juan Baby G Luevano was gunned down outside of his home after returning from a night of drinking at a nearby club. Because he was a member of the La Raza gang, his death was quickly written off by the media as the likely result of another gang feud in one of.
So Buddy wasted his favor. He called him for a favor, said, how do we lock him up for a long time? They lock him up, he gets out on bail, and then they smoke him. You just blew your favor, and then you went and smoked Buddy. Like, what are you doing? You mad. Shout out SoCal on the check-in the chat. What up, Shy? Salutes to you. Appreciate you being here. Jonathan said, what's understood don't have to be explained, no morals and principles. Exactly. Like, they already know. They looking at each other like, I know you're going to smash my girl. Yeah, I know I'm going to smash your girl. But just don't smash my girl, all right? All right, I'm going to make sure that you don't know that I smash your girl. But I'm hoping you don't find out when I smash your girl. All right, thanks. All right, cool, hugs. And then it turns into this, you know, put you away and then smoke you. Bananas.
Of America's most violent cities. Saul's work as an informant continued to be lucrative. From 1996 to 2001, he made over $800,000 in public funds for his work as a paid informant, enough to make him technically one of the highest paid employees of the Chicago Police Department. But
you don't know a cop that legitimately made as much money as Saul did, lining people up for the police. You're not gonna find it. The president of the United States makes what, 250 grand on paper? Like, he made 800 grand in a little bit of time. Shout out Old Soul on the check-in. Salute Shail. Salute chat. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here. Salutes to you. Appreciate you. But yeah, Buddy was getting money. More money than any of those police chiefs, lieutenants, any of that shit.
This tax-free six-figure income, only supplemented by his work as a drug dealer, was not enough for Saul. So he hatched a bold plan, applying his insider knowledge of drug trafficking to form an even more devious result. He would form a squadron of gangsters, ex-cons, and drug couriers to kidnap high-risk targets who could supply millions in ransoms or stashed cocaine. And they would specifically target people with the power and resources to put Saul and his squad 6 feet under if they were ever found out, including local drug barons under the protection of the Sinaloa Cartel. Saul's inner circle soon came to include guys like Fares Umar, another Chicago native who Saul knew from basketball gyms around town, or David Venegas, the husband of one of Saul's longtime drug and cash couriers, Lisette Venegas, who'd established mutual trust over the years. Then there were the Uriarte brothers, Hector, Jorge, and Manuel, a trio of guys with ties to the City Knights gang, who were so eager for access to Saul's underworld connections that Manuel had offered himself up as a hitman. But out of all of these folks, one man offered more knowledge and expertise than any others could have hoped to.
The big boss, Daddy. So, all right, he got his Avengers, and now they're going to get their Nick Fury, all right? This is their daddy right here.
This was because he knew better than the rest that the smoothest type of caper was one that didn't first appear to the victim to be a kidnapping or a robbery at all. His name was Officer Glenn Llewellyn of the Chicago Police Department. Stash houses started getting hit.
Okay, salutes to you, Peter. I'm telling you, everything's mashed up in my brain. I just get it, put it on a list, and I appreciate you. Salutes to you, Peter. This is the video I sent you, Shy, on IG last week. I need a job, bro. Don't trip. When we're in the position to hire, I'm going to holler at you. We're going to get your references. For sure. But yeah, that's where we at right now. We on Saul over here. He wildin'. Saul and Llewellyn.
A home in Will County was taken for 80 kilograms of cocaine. Another on Kenneth Avenue in Chicago was hit for $1.5 million in drug money by men who burst in with police badges, vests, and guns and duct taped the occupants' eyes shut. The Grand
Hold on, go back.
A home in Will County was taken for 80 kilograms of cocaine. Another on Kenneth Avenue in Chicago was hit for $1.5 million in drug money.
So this is basically the same as the Jerome Finnegan whole thing. Aside from the whole ransom shit, but it was basically, let's target these guys. We know they got bricks. We're not gonna we're not gonna get those bricks off the streets. We're not gonna police the situation. We're gonna get paid. I'm gonna get this money. That's what they was on.
By men who burst in with police badges, vests, and guns and duct taped the occupants' eyes shut. The grandmother.
Once inside the van, one of the men placed duct tape over the top of the bag around victim F eyes and mouth. One of the men hogtied victim F by putting duct tape around his hands and feet and then tying his hands and feet together behind his back. Shout out Peter. He said, "You my guy, Shy. Salutes to you. Salutes to Pebs on the check-in. Celebrity Shy. I'm just a hood famous Higga in Section 8. Pebs, that's the facts right there. Salutes to you though. I appreciate you being here. We're talking about a dirtbag kidnapper and his cop daddy. That's what we on over here. But salutes to you. I appreciate you being here, Pebs.
of Saul's drug courier, Lisette Venegas, who was grabbed outside a bar she owned, hogtied and left.
So they hogtied her. Lisette got snatched up and hogtied in the van.
Without bathroom breaks, food, or water for 2 days until her family finally coughed up
Victim D and her family never contacted the police. Of course they didn't. The police came and robbed their ass. But they didn't know that at the time. Victim D was later told that her family paid a ransom of approximately $180,000 to the kidnappers.
$80,000 in ransom. Lisette was fully aware of the plot.
Lisette Venegas believed that her grandmother had $1 million hidden in the floor at her residence. Lisette Venegas approached Rodriguez about kidnapping her grandmother and holding her for ransom. So she's getting snatched up, she's getting hogtied, right? But she's in on it. She wants him to kidnap her grandmother so that they can extort her grandmother for the money that he wants. This is bananas, dog. This plot is nuts. This is, again, we always say how with the twin story, every branch off of the twin story is another movie in itself, another TV show in itself.
And played along as her family stressed over the ransom demand.
While somebody was in the crib picking up floorboards, looking for money, looking like Tony Soprano's sister and shit with a metal or breaking down the walls looking for bread. Lisette Venegas' credibility was negligible. She lied to the family, including her husband, about her involvement in her own grandmother's kidnapping. And again, her husband was part of Saul's crew somehow. You know what I'm saying? Jonathan Patoja said, Pabs, you won't have to worry about being attacked over here. Don't be so sure. Trolls travel. Salute Ryek on the check-in. What up, Shai? Appreciate you. Salutes to you. Hundreds up in the chat for all of y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. We talking about this craziness over here. So again, she's getting her grandmother kidnapped, but she still hasn't told her husband, who's part of the crew, that this is what's happening. I don't know how that worked, but it all goes down that way.
Not everyone escaped with their life. A drug supplier named Miguel de la Torre was lured to a parking garage near an apartment building owned by Saul, with the promise he'd be paid for some cocaine he'd fronted to him. Instead, he was hooked up to a car battery, burned, and eventually strangled when he refused to give up the name of his cocaine supplier, with his body left in the trunk of his Nissan and dumped in another part of town.
Jorge Uralte, Manuel Uralte, and Saul Rodriguez discussed where to leave Miguel's Nissan. Saul never saw Miguel's body after he had been illed. Saul Rodriguez understood that Jorge and Manuel had put his body in the trunk of the Nissan.
The local owner of a rim and tire shop was bear-hugged by a man posing as a homeless person, who forcibly dragged him into a van where he was blindfolded and taken.
Hold on, let's see what that text said. They agreed that Faraz Umar would dress like a homeless person and push a shopping cart down the alley behind Victim K's house at the time he would usually leave the house. Listen, some people think, who's going to go through all of that? Stop it. You didn't see the hitman that was dressed up like the Hasidic Jew? And he had the curls and the hat and everything, and he's under the hood of his car, and he's working on his car. He saw his mark come, ran up on the mark, ended him, and got out of Dodge. There's people that's willing to go that extra mile. There's dudes like Faraz Umar that's willing to dress like a homeless person, push a shopping cart down the alley behind Victim K's house at the time he would usually leave the house. Those guys exist. They're out there. All right? Don't think they're not. Those are the dudes that are willing to go the extra mile, put on the costume and everything.
Bear-hugged by a man posing as a homeless person, who forcibly dragged him into a van where he was blindfolded and taken to a garage. He spent days there, begging friends and fan where he was blindfolded and taken to a...
So if y'all watch Breaking Bad right here, this is Max Arciniega right here, tied up to the pole right here. This is my acting teacher. It's the homie right there. MC turned actor. Chicago MC turned actor.
Garage. He spent days there, begging friends and family for money, until his good buddy, Saul Rodriguez, came to the rescue. Saul had hung out at the victim's rim shop for years, and even offered to invest in it. Now here was Saul saving him from great bodily injury or death. The rim shop owner paid the ransom.
Saul to the rescue. You get kidnapped. You call your boy Saul who got some bread. Saul, come get me, bro. Saul pays the ransom, charges you interest. You pay him back. Come to find out later, he's the one that kidnapped you to begin with. Stranger than fiction. A few hours later, Umar informed the rim shop guy that his friend was able to obtain the money and that after the money was counted, he would be released. After approximately 1 to 2 hours, Umar drove the rim shop guy to the area of Pulaski Avenue and Addison in Chicago. Umar then left the rim shop guy in a nearby alley.
Back to Saul through cash, wire payments, and property transfers over the next 3 years. They used these phony arrest ploys in other ways too. When someone in Saul's crew wanted to blow off a drug debt, they arranged for the person to be fake arrested in full sight of the loaner, ostensibly while he was coming back to pay back what he owed. But the loaner was not an easy dupe. Saul's response was to purchase a newer Crown Victoria and modify it to look like an undercover Chicago police car for them to use moving forward.
Yeah, I know I owe you like 50 grand, 100 grand. You know, we've been working together a long time. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? And then what happens is they say, okay, I decided I don't want to pay this guy no more. Daddy Llewellyn, go get him. It's the same thing they do with the cartel. Doing the cartel, same deal.
In 2003, they'd used the Crown Victoria for one of their highest profile targets yet. They decided they would kidnap one of the twins.
Now they got a ghost whip. Now they got a ghost police car right here, all right? Okay? But what y'all don't understand is that these were in the hood. With the light, with everything. I knew 3 or 4 people had this same whip, with the light, looked the same, all of that.
Chicago police car for them to use moving forward. In 2003, they'd used the Crown Victoria for one of their highest profile targets yet. They decided they would kidnap one of the twins. By then, Llewellyn had retired from the Chicago Police Department and started his own construction business. But he and Saul stayed in touch.
Constructing plans to kidnap old ladies, that was his business. Shout out Jonathan, he said, here we go with the coded lingo. Hey man, we gotta do it, man. YouTube is on my ass over here.
Saul knew Pedro and Margarito Flores from playing basketball with them at the Hoops gym in Chicago. They were hard men to track down. But Saul had guys in his circle who'd buy 20 to 30 pounds of cocaine from the twins directly, and he used random tidbits of information to his advantage. For instance, when one of Saul's business associates mentioned the twins had recently purchased brand new motorcycles, he passed this information on to the surveillance team to help locate exactly where their target resided.
Jorge Lopez explained that the twins had just bought motorcycles. Jorge Lopez gave Saul this information not knowing that he was going to use it to kidnap one of the twins. Glenn Llewellyn, Faraz Umar, and Saul Rodriguez were already out conducting surveillance in the area of the twins' family's 3-flat apartment building on the south side of Chicago. Now, remember, this was his move. This was Saul's move. He would case the joint. You know, he'd sit around and watch. He'd get his information. You know, and he'd get your information. He'd sit around, watch your. If he wasn't doing it, somebody else was doing it. Watching your habits. Watch as you come and go. You know what I mean? We heard a story. I don't remember where it was. Whether it was in Cartel Wives or we heard a story. It might have been Cartel Wives where. Kato snatched Buddy up out the car. He caught him on the block, snoozing, looking around, paying attention to too much shit. Snatched him up out the car. When you got a police guy like Llewellyn that got your back, it's like, who really want to risk bodying you and kicking up that wasp's nest? Rather just try to thwart your maneuvers. You know, Gargamel's. You gotta beat Gargamel, man. That's what he reminds me of, a Gargamel.
When Saul was planning his abduction, he was also helping the twins score tickets to an Oscar de la Hoya bout in Las Vegas.
All right, so he's scoring tickets for the twins to go see Oscar de la Hoya. Meanwhile, he's kidnapping P. Dirtbag shit.
Saul was planning his abduction. He was also helping the twins score tickets to an Oscar de la Hoya bout in Las Vegas. The kidnapping went off just like so many others. Pedro Flores was pulled over in his light blue Lexus and arrested, only to discover, once it was too late, that he was really the victim of an abduction. While he was being taken to a secure location, someone else was getting his Lexus off the middle of the street and parking it somewhere that it wouldn't attract attention. Saul monitored the situation from a distance, concerned that if he got too close to the hostage, that Pedro would recognize his voice and he would be exposed. Instead, Saul had Faraz Umar call Pedro's family from payphones and gave him a script of what to say.
That's the guy that was telling Pete, man, you playing with your brother's life right now. I mean, telling Jay, you playing with your brother's life right now. You know what I mean? That was the dude on the phone. But if that's the case, didn't Jay recognize Saul's voice? Eventually, he has to have gotten on the phone. Because if we listen, we're gonna have to ask the twins about that next time we talk to him. Because if he recognized his voice, then somebody's story is off over here. if it was the Perez Umar guy. But again, he probably heard Perez Umar's voice, but understood the play. Does this sound like a Saul play? Maybe it could have been like that. Shout out Peter. He said Saul was a grommet dude. Yeah, for sure. Southside Mexican said two-faced ass cat. SMH. Dude was a certified dirtbag. It seems as such, man. You know, old ladies weren't exempt from this dude. So did his best friend dirty. Absolutely did his best friend dirty. I mean, you know, if you could creep her, you could keep her. You know what I mean? Yeah, you betrayed me. Do I gotta end you over her? Nah. Do I gotta end you over the betrayal? Yeah, but I can end you in a million ways. You know, you lose access to me. Done deal. You know, but he wasn't ready. He tried to lock him up. He didn't get that done quick enough. That wasn't enough to fill the hole that dude left in his chest. So he smoked him. You know, that's what best friends are for, evidently, in this game. Jonathan said, I believe Jay asked someone if he thought it was Saul. That was him because he was hitting licks like that. Yeah, but I remember him saying, man, that sounds like Saul. I remember that coming out in the podcast. And then him saying, I know exactly who to ask. I got the perfect person, family member that knows him and his side of the people. And he asked that person, man, it sounded like Saul. He said, if you think it's Saul, then it's Saul because that's what he does, you know. So my question is, right here they're saying and we might get to it. The next call might be from Saul, and that might be the one where Jay picks it up. But right now it's Perez Umar that's on the phone. Peter says, Shah, you got to ask Jay if he ended up sending Saul that bad brocane they had stashed in that garage. We ain't got to ask. We got the answer to that. Yes. Saul was plotting to snatch up Val, I believe. Saul was plotting to snatch up Val. The word of that plot had gotten out. They were going to use her as bait. And I believe Jay said, nah, I got something better than that. Let's not use her as bait. He's thirsty. Just tell him that we got 30 keys in here and he's going to go for them. You know, and that's how it went down. It went. So we got that answer already. Hopefully that helps you. But we got that answer already. He got his from the hands of the twins. So yeah, that stash garage was definitely the twins.
They told Margarito to leave a large amount of cocaine at a predetermined location.
Saul Rodriguez drove individual L to payphones in the Chicago area from which he made the ransom calls. Saul Rodriguez told both individual L and Perez Umar who to call and what to say.
While the surveillance team watched.
Whomever made the first call told Saul Rodriguez that victim G's twin brother had agreed to leave a large amount of brocane and an amount of money in a van near First Avenue and Cermak or Roosevelt in the Chicago area.
From a distance. When this was done, the group readied themselves to drop Pedro off somewhere in Chicago until they tested the cocaine and realized they'd been given extremely low-quality drugs instead of the fish scale level that they were expecting. So, Perez Umar told Pedro to get on the phone and yell at Margarito, his brother, and tell him he wasn't taking the situation seriously enough. It worked. The group was eventually given 180 kilos of acceptable quality cocaine and made $750,000 from the sales, splitting the proceeds based on who had done what during the kidnapping. After it was all over, Saul, Pedro, and Margarito bumped into each other at the De La Hoya fight and had a cordial talk.
Not awkward at all. Not awkward at all. Twins run into this Muppet at the fights knowing what he did, you know, knowing who they paid and what they paid to get P back.
And Margarito bumped into each other at the De La Hoya fight and had a cordial talk. But the brothers suspected Saul and kept their eye on him from then on. Soon after their success with the twins, another victim was chosen. His name was Teodor Bueno, and the crew had pegged him as a local drug dealer who'd make an His name was Teodor Bueno. Success with the twins.
What's up with these pictures? I've never seen these mugshots right here. This definitely looks like Jay. A lot of facial hair, more facial hair than we're used to seeing, and you know, the quality of the picture, this doesn't look so much like P. Quite possibly could be him, but I don't know. I've never seen these pictures.
Another victim was chosen. His name was Teodor Bueno, and the crew had pegged him as a local drug dealer who'd make an easy shakedown. Rather than his normal crew,
Shout out Jonathan. Jonathan said, dude doesn't even look like he could be trusted. Maybe I'm biased. Yeah, once you know the story and you see his face, you put two and two together, it never looks the same. That's a fact.
Saul decided to use another
What's up
victim.
with the gun and the condoms on the
His
floor,
name
though?
was Teodor Bueno.
So this is their next victim, Teodor Bueno.
Crew had pegged him as a local drug dealer who'd make an easy shakedown.
Come on, man. We got the magnums down here and the hammer. Stop it. What are we doing? What the hell kind of party y'all was having?
Rather than his normal crew, Saul decided to use David Venegas and a local bodybuilder named Charles Dewar.
So David Venegas, from my understanding, is the lady Lisette's husband that set up her grandmother to be kidnapped for ransom. So Saul decided to use David Venegas and a local bodybuilder. Shout out Julio Cardenas, much love. Saul, saludos, cuates, salutes to you, Julio. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, sir. Appreciate everybody being here. Hundreds up in the chat for y'all. Please hit the like button. All right, we and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We're getting closer to our 10,000 sub mark. We're like at 6,202. Salutes to y'all. Julio Cardenas, Saul, much love to you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Who'd die of a heart attack years later. Saul deviated from his usual go-to guys like the Uriarte brothers because he figured he could pay David and Charles less. This proved to be a regrettable choice. When Fares
cut corners. Instead of going with the Uriarte brothers who were tried and true and did their job and they were in the game with him and they did what they needed to do, he said, I got to go a little cheaper. He went with these two guys and it sounds like it was a problem. Jonathan said unalived. Yeah, I probably missed one. It's going to happen.
Umar and the others attempted to pull Bueno into a minivan outside his Chicago home by disguising themselves as cops. Bueno's wife saw what was going on and rushed outside to help. The kidnappers told her it was, quote, police business. But she didn't buy that for a second and
Umar informed the female that it was police business and to go back in the house.
attempted to block the van in the driveway. They were eventually able to get away, but not until after she got a good enough look at the van to memorize a good description of it. Things continued to go wrong from here. After the initial abduction, Dewar decided he wanted nothing to do with this and simply walked away. Next, Bueno's wife informed the kidnappers that she'd been able.
So that puts a target on his back. So the bodybuilder got in the mix. He was the cut corner. They paid him cheaper than the tried and true guys, the guys that have proven themselves. They paid him cheaper to do the job. They botched the job. The wife saw the van. It turned into a whole thing. And then at the end of it, he didn't want no part of it and he walked away. Well, that puts a target on your back to get snatched up yourself. And I don't know if you got anybody that's willing to pay for you or you got any bread. Since you were the cheap work, you might just be expendable and end up in the trunk like Buddy did. She indicated that she could only get $500,000 during the next telephone call. Bueno's wife stated that she had obtained the money. Umar had a feeling that Bueno's wife had contacted law enforcement because she found the $300,000 in a short amount of time. As a result of being suspicious, Umar informed Bueno's wife that if he observed law enforcement while picking up the ransom money, Bueno would be unalived. Shout out 323G in the chat on the check-in. Little late, but we here. Never late, always on time. Salutes to you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Shout out Ryak1. He said, I used to see those two dudes all the time driving around in Aurora back in the day. Which two dudes? The twins or the bodybuilder and the other guy right here? Or the Muppet and the cop? Let me know. Probably talking about the twins. I don't know. Let me know. Salutes.
Able to come up with $800,000 in ransom within a few hours. A quickness that the kidnapping crew was unaccustomed to. Fares Umar was now worried that they were walking right into a trap. And even more so, when on the way to collect the ransom, he noticed what he believed were numerous unmarked police cars. But Saul told him he was overreacting and urged him to plow ahead. Of course, Umar's suspicions were correct. When he arrived at the ransom drop, undercover cops made themselves known.
See, you gotta make sense. If you see cars, if you feel it's off, you bail. They didn't bail. That's that greed. That's that part that we talk about. The part where people say, man, Chapo on the phone call with Pete kind of sounded like he felt something strange. Why didn't he act on it? Greed. Same reason the guy that ran into Val in the restaurant was calling her all kind of cooperators and rats and this and that. And then Armando made it clear to him, hey, my brothers ain't testifying against nobody. Dude was like, all right, give me some work. That greed will make you do some shit that you don't want to do. Umar peeped it. He hired Umar to do a job. to be the eyes, to be the doer, the facilitator. And when the time came and he saw what he was supposed to see, what he was trained to see, the greed kicked in and said, nah, keep going. Keep going. Don't worry about it. And they got popped off, you know. Okay, salute Ryek. He said the bodybuilding that David do. Yeah, see, they was out there up to no good. Shout out Peter says Saul deserved worse than prison. Facts side greed. Yeah, it was the greed, man. That greed to get you to say, keep going. Get us there.
He was taken into custody after a short police chase. In an interview room, he lied to the cops, claiming Bueno owed him drug money and leaving Saul and David's names out of the whole thing. Saul returned the favor by posting Umar's bail, short police chase. In an interview room, he lied to the cops, claiming Bueno owed him drug money and leaving Saul and David's names out of the whole thing.
So look at that. Even though he told his boy, hey man, this don't look right, this looks funny. He got popped off, he went to jail, he still kept his mouth shut about it. You know what I'm saying? And man, you was loyal to a dirtbag for real, for real. IB says same reason people lie to themselves. To not listen to their own intuition every day, dog. Listen, and you can never convince them that that's what they do. Never enough evidence for a fool, you know. They lie to themselves. A person that lies to themselves, what can you do for them? What can you do for them? You know, they done programmed themselves to only listen to themselves, and it's gotten them nowhere. You know, some bullshit their way to the top. You know, it's a gamble, but yeah, absolutely right. Same reason people lie to themselves, to not listen to their own intuition every day, man. Your gut's telling you. Your gut's telling you got to do what you got to do.
Saul returned the favor by posting Umar's bail and purchasing him a lawyer. But Umar was no fool. He knew Saul well enough to know that these nice gestures were plan A to ensure Umar wouldn't talk. Plan B would obviously be to murder him. Because he was caught red-handed, he was sentenced to state prison for kidnapping, without ever implicating his accomplices. But Saul had other legal problems. Informants had told the DEA he was a cocaine dealer, and by 2006, the feds were zeroing in on a warehouse that Saul was renting from its owner, Glenn Llewellyn. During the raid, Llewellyn asked the feds why they were there. When he found out it was Saul, he cut ties, repaid a $500,000 investment they'd jointly put into some real estate.
He did the Adam 22, washed his hands of the drama. So they come down on Saul, they find him in a warehouse owned by Llewellyn, and Llewellyn starts shredding paperwork and documents. Peter said his BF sister said that to the judge, same way he was crying in court was the same way he cried at his BF's funeral. Dirty scumbag. He was on some bishop shit, you know, sitting there watching the sister hug everybody and hugging her and looking at everybody over her shoulder and shit. Yeah, dirty scumbag shit. Even Alpo said he went to Rich's funeral, and he went there before anybody had got there. He went there early. He got in there, and he signed the book. Like, that's, you got a lot of nerve, you know. You got a lot of nerve.
And also allegedly used a DEA source to verify that Saul was being wiretapped, then warned him to get rid of his phone. By 2009, Fares Umar agreed
So he was still getting the help of Llewellyn. Llewellyn was washing his hands and shredding documents, but he was still pulling strings because he knew Saul go down, he go down. Saul ain't going to hold the line for him.
Work with the DEA, signing an agreement that implicated
So
Saul.
boom, Umar finally flipped. Damn.
That Saul was being wiretapped, then warned him to get rid of his phone. By 2009, Fares Umar agreed to work with the DEA, signing an agreement that implicated Saul and other members of the crew in kidnappings, thefts, and murders. The following year, the U.S. Attorney's Office obtained an indictment against Saul, the Uriarte brothers, Glenn Llewellyn, and others. Now Saul was in jail without bail, with about 20 different paths to a life sentence. So what do you suppose Saul did at this point, now that the feds had made their move? Once again, he decided to betray those closest to him. In an agreement with the feds, Saul admitted to 1 attempted murder, 14 kidnappings involving 29 victims.
Damn. Saul Rodriguez is the mastermind of this entire case. He's the moving force behind virtually all of the murders. Damn it. Kidnappings, robberies, and rug trafficking. Rodriguez's plea agreement sets forth criminal acts that he admitted to organizing and participating in. They include 3 unalivings, 1 attempt unaliving, 14 kidnappings involving 29 victims, the theft of 780 keys of brocane, and the theft of $2,783,500, not 5,000. Somebody added a zero that don't go there. Yeah, because it wasn't no 27 million. Woo, that's a lot of people. 14 nappings involving 29 people. Nobody was safe. So if you were with your kid can get it too. If you were with your abuelita can get it too. If you were with your, whoever, they can get it too.
And the cumulative theft of 785 kilograms of cocaine. And
What did Llewellyn do? I don't remember. Llewellyn did like 8 years maybe, if that, before the judge came to rescue him because she was worried about his health. But were they worried about the kids and the old people that they kidnapped and tied up and put in basements and shit? You know what I'm saying? IB said, "Is this the dude who kidnapped bro?" Yeah. And again, did I link you guys to the let me do that now. Yeah, I think I did link you guys to the let me see if it's still here. Paste. Yeah, that's the first video we did on them. So I just linked y'all to that right there. But yeah, this is definitely dude. But dude, he wasn't the only one he napped. He got 14 kidnappings involving 29 people. Bananas. So that's the link to our first video that we did on Saul, solely on Saul and Llewellyn. And at the end of it, it should give you the suggestion to go to part 2 and part 3. Right there, this will be, I don't know, part 4, something like that. Salute Chucky Chingong on the check-in. What up, Shy? Salute, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here. We just chilling on a Sunday night. It's been a couple of days, but we back. Jonathan said yes to IB. Yeah, so definitely this is dude. He also, which is probably the most egregious thing, he smoked his best friend. Because him and his best friend, they spit in each other's palms and they shook hands and they said, "I'll never smash your girl." And he said, "Okay, I might smash your girl." And he's like, "Don't smash my girl." And they had this conversation about how they wouldn't smash each other's girl. And one of them smashed the other's girl. So he unalived them. Because he's that insecure and it meant that much to him. And I get it. Betrayal is betrayal, right? But there's levels to the shit. To me, that's sucker shit. If you could creep her, you could keep her. You could grab her, you could have her.
$2,783,500 in cash. He also admitted to ordering the murders of his one-time best friend, Juan Levano, Miguel de la Torre, and a Latin Kings member named Michael Snoop Garcia, whom Saul arranged to be killed at the behest of a Satan's Disciples member whose brother Garcia allegedly ran over with a vehicle. In exchange for these admissions, Saul...
That sounds like a hit. That don't sound like no kidnapping, no extortion, none of that. That just sounds like a hit. Shout out Chucky Chingong. He said, "Didn't get the alert. Been looking out for the live. My apologies. Again, I apologize for YouTube being such a shitty notification sender. And it was a last minute decision to go on at about 8:15 today. I basically threw up an alert in the Discord and we went live. We've been gone for a couple of days. There was a passing in the family, so we had to tend to the family for a couple of days, and we back. We back talking about this dirtbag situation, So salutes to you, Chucky, on the check-in. I appreciate you. Hundreds up in the chat for y'all. Please hit the like button. 31 people in the concurrent views, 17 likes. Please hit the like button. Doesn't cost you a thing. Here we go. So now he's gone from just kidnapping to sounds like
Michael
hitman
Snoop
work.
Garcia's friend and $500 in cash. He also admitted to ordering the murders of his one-time best friend, Juan Levano, Miguel de la Torre, and a Latin Kings member named Michael Snoop Garcia, whom Saul arranged to be killed at the behest of a Satan's Disciples member whose brother Garcia allegedly ran over with a vehicle. In exchange for these admissions, Saul was supposed to get a relatively lenient sentence, but he'd have to testify first. Of course, never satisfied with leaving things to chance, Saul decided to hedge his bets by obtaining a contraband cell phone and attempting to have a witness against him murdered from jail, all while maintaining his cooperation agreement with the federal government. Saul became the star witness at trial for...
So he had the jail phone and he was trying to get people popped, and from prison is where he started the plot to snatch up Val, which turned into something else. Or was that before this? No, that was before this.
5 men who knew one another through Saul had taken...
Chuck Chico said, I've been having trouble getting on. I downloaded the app. Gonna try it again. Yeah, let me know if you need any aid and assist or walk through. Let me know, and we'll figure that out somewhere. But yeah, man, YouTube is just, they don't help with the notifications. Again, I don't know if I schedule the live the day in advance, maybe it'll ship. Usually it's on a whim that I go live, so it's probably needs time to catch up. But the way my life is set up, I can't really schedule lives like that. Maybe I'll be able to do that for a live once a week, like have a set time and date. But my life don't work like that. I'm always on the run. So, but yeah, salutes. Salutes Crash Out on the check-in. Salutes to you. Appreciate you guys being here, man. We hanging out. Right? Hit that like button on the way in. Get comfortable. Smoke them if you got them. Let's get it.
Orders to commit violent crimes from this at all. A contraband cell phone. Never satisfied with leaving things. But he'd have to testify these admissions. Saul was supposed to get a relatively lenient sentence. But he'd have to testify first. Of course, never satisfied with leaving things to chance, Saul decided to hedge his bets by obtaining a contraband cell phone and attempting to have a witness against him murdered from jail, all while maintaining his cooperation agreement with the federal government. Saul became the star witness at trial for 5 men who knew one another through Saul, had taken orders to commit violent crimes from Saul, but were now on the cusp of facing life in prison thanks to the testimony of Saul.
Damn, boy.
But as the trial progressed, it became clear he was just as much help to the defense as he was to the prosecution. His long record of lying, murdering, kidnapping, backstabbing, and being willing to do just about anything when his feet were to the fire made him easy fodder during cross-examination. Ultimately, almost none of the accusations that rested solely on Saul's testimony resulted in convictions. But there were enough supplementary witnesses to convict all 5 men of serious charges nonetheless, including Glenn Llewellyn. While the jury was...
Look at him, big walrus face. And he probably still walks around. He probably got like a little shrine to his police career up in his room. And he looks at his old uniform and he salutes it in the morning, like, yeah, man, you was good police. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You was a baby snatcher, dog. You the scum of the earth. Shout out Luis Garcia on the check-in. Saludos. Just finished watching that. No shit. Now we over here giving our opinion. Salutes.
Wasn't able to reach a verdict on counts of racketeering or kidnapping. They did convict the ex-cop of conspiracy to distribute cocaine, a charge that described Llewellyn's role in the conspiracy as being actively involved in robberies and kidnappings to seize cocaine and resell it. The final result of this case was without rhyme or reason. Many of the defendants received out-of-balance punishments that didn't fit their crimes. A man named Andres Flores admitted to 2 murders, kidnapping a band leader, his wife and kids during a home invasion, and major thefts of cocaine, but only got 14.5 years in prison because he cooperated. Jorge Uriarte, meanwhile, got 42 years for involvement in 8 kidnappings and allegations he participated in the murder of Miguel de la Torre. Another crew member named Tony Sparkman, who was one of the least involved members of Saul's crew, also got 42 years for conspiracy to distribute.
The least involved got 42 years. Now, my question is, did that guy speak on somebody? Because, use the bottom of the barrel, bro. I know you mad.
Cocaine. Even Judge Joan Gottschall, who presided...
Her? I hope they brought her up on charges, because I feel like she let Llewellyn out on some,
over the case and handed down the sentences, thought they were unfair. Quote, "None of the sentencing makes any sense to me. I mean, we've got these people who strike me as incredibly dangerous to society who are going to get out of prison really soon." Then she brought up Faris Umar, noting that he had only 3 years left to serve, and how, quote, "very scary that was."
See, so she's sitting here throwing out football numbers, but for the judge, she was like, but it's too hard for him. He's too old. We need him. He's not going to make it in prison. He's going to pass away. He's going to unalive from being sick because, COVID and, I said the wrong word. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, but she throwing football. And she like, what? Faris Umar getting out in 3 years after all this cooperation? Oh, hell no. We can't have that happen. He's a menace to society. No, lady, you're a menace to society.
As for Saul, it turned out that he tempted fate one too many times. While in jail, he accepted a $6,000 payment from the famous drug lord Vicente Zambada Niebla of the Sinaloa Cartel. money that Saul was paid for the whereabouts of Pedro Flores and Margarito Flores, so Zambada could have the relatives killed to discourage the Flores brothers from testifying against him. Unfortunately for Zambada, this plot not only failed, but the Flores twins are now minor celebrities, subjects of a successful podcast and a biographical TV deal involving 50 Cent, all due to their work taking down El Chapo and the other leaders of the cartel. After Saul's murder-for-hire deal with Zambada became known, the feds decided they'd had enough with Saul Rodriguez. They tore up his cooperation agreement.
Shout out Chucky Chingon. He said they all changed their life when the cuffs got slapped on. Like Skinny Joey Merlino says. Yeah, man, like, I was talking to a friend about that yesterday, you know. I was like, man, all these, we was just talking about crime and religion and all of these things, and it's like, yeah, man, it's like, everybody, it's a day late and a dollar short sometimes. Not for them. That's their faith. It's what they believe. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I believe there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them that are authentic, and there's a lot of them that are just hiding behind that. You know, hiding who they really are behind that. That's how I feel. And that's with anything, though. You know, you walk the streets during the day, there's, 50% of the people that'll help you, or whatever percent of the people that'll help you if you need help. And put themselves in a situation to help you. And then there's that other 50% of people that's just going to watch you drown. Or help you drown. Crash Out. Dude was a piece of ish. Kids my age growing up would talk about who would had to be the one to smoke him because he had the old head scared because he was a loose screw and would backdoor anyone. So you from over there, huh? In that time frame, you was a young Thundercat. Crash Out. I appreciate the comment. But yeah, he said, yeah, dude was a piece of ish. Kids my age growing up would talk about who would have to be the one to smoke him. So that it was like Omar from The Wire, but less respected. You know what I mean? Who's going to smoke dude? Salutes Crash Out. He said, rest in peace, Baby G. Rest in peace, Baby G. Chucky Chi gonna say he makes a point that if they didn't get caught, what would they be doing? Same shit. Yeah. Yeah. I've asked that question a bunch of times, you know. You get tired of making a lot of money and having the same problems every day that you're used to, or you stop because that's it. We're in a corner now. You know, who knows? You know. But again, some people hide behind religion, they hide behind their family. That some of those people have not changed. Some of those people are still the same. Not to say that everybody's like that. A lot of people have changed, but, you know, I've known dudes my whole life, dudes that came back and changed their life and never went back to prison. And they had their ups and their downs, but they didn't go back, you know. So salutes to them too. IB said, damn, less respected than Omar. I mean, I would think so. Because I don't think Omar would snatch up kids. We're looking at a fictional character, of course. You know what I'm saying? You know, Omar even respected the Sunday truce. He was appalled when they came at his grandmother on a Sunday. This guy right here, snatch up your grandmother on a Sunday. Keep her till next Sunday. And then charge her a vig on the money he just paid to get her freed. So, yeah, I think he's way less respected than Omar. You know? Crash Out said a lot of stuff they did was and still never talked about. I'm sure, dog. This is it's an ongoing saga. Many, many years of you know, secrets and lies and betrayals and just things piled upon each other that, you know, they just there. They exist in the ethos. You know? Shout out IB.
And he was sentenced to 40 years in prison at a hearing where he blubbered and cried for
40 years. They smashed him up. 40 years.
The feds decided they'd had enough with Saul Rodriguez. They tore up his cooperation agreement, and he was sentenced to 40 years in prison at a hearing where he blubbered and cried for 10 minutes, telling Judge Gottschall that he'd seen the light and, quote, didn't want to do bad no more.
I don't want to do bad things no more. I'm a changed man. I don't want to do bad things no more. I don't know what made me snatch up that abuelita and them babies. I don't know. I don't know what made me, you know, betray my best friend or I don't know why that woman was so important to me that I could end up taking his life because I was that empty inside. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure this guy will have a reason for everything. Shout out Oso. He said Saul was the ultimate POS person. I mean, there's only one or two things that can make him worse than what he is, right? I need proof of those one or two things in order to put him all the way down at the bottom of the barrel. But he's right there. He's right there. IB said, I find it kind of hard separating Omar from Michael. In this case, because Omar was the guy that was hitting all the hustlers and robbing them. You know what I'm saying? That's what this guy was. He wasn't just hitting hustlers. He hit the old lady that got bread at the bar. You know? But oh, you have, okay, I'm sorry. I thought you meant Michael the character. He said, I find it kind of hard separating Omar from Michael K. Williams. Yeah, I mean, we might see that. We might have different perspectives on that because I'm an actor. But I could separate the character from Michael K. Williams, absolutely. And I feel like this guy right here, the things that his character did were much less respectable than the things that Omar did in The Wire. You know? Sometimes Omar just had to show up, smoke a square on your wall for you to throw the bag out the window. This guy, snatch your Pomeranian. The dog get kidnapped fucking with Saul. That's a fact. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's make sure I didn't miss nothing. I appreciate you, Crash. I love the insight, bro. I love the insight. Rest in peace, Baby G. All right, we caught up.
But his performance took a hit when the sister of Juan Baby G. Luevano showed up to remind the judge and the public that Saul appeared just as sincere when he showed up to Luevano's funeral in 2000, crying and ostensibly mourning a murder that he had.
Oh, I'm gonna miss him so much. He was my best friend. He was always there for me when I needed him. We saved each other's lives so many times. All of that sob story. Wah, wah, wah. Then I'm bogus for not sympathizing? I don't sympathize. Shout out IB said, yeah, I feel you. I was just saying, but I agree with you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Again, I appreciate the conversation here. Rodriguez even had his best friend, Juan Levano, unalived after he began dating Rodriguez's ex-girlfriend. We read this already, but we'll read it again. And then showed up at the funeral acting like a mourner. No, we didn't read this. Prosecutors alleged. At Rodriguez's long-awaited sentencing hearing Friday, Levano's sister Angelica let Rodriguez know she realized his duplicity the day of the funeral. How could you...
had both ordered and profited from. As for Glenn Llewellyn, after cutting ties with Saul, that Saul appeared just as murder that he had both...
how could you, Saul? She said in court. And he's over there, I don't want to be bad no more. I want to be a good boy. I'm never going to be greedy again. I'm over my insecurities overnight. I'm never going to be the lame that I was yesterday. I could turn this all around right now. I got this. Wah, wah, wah. Nah, bruh. It was the chickens came home to roost. You got away with it as long as you was going to get away with it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Pulled the Bishop on Juice. Damn, yeah, Bishop and Alpo. Yeah, these guys that'll show up to the funeral. I mean, mob guys did it in the old days coming up. Same old deal. But this guy's over there at the funeral. All right, you going to go to the funeral? Go sit your ass in the corner and shut up. He was my friend. I loved him. He was my homie. Have a slip every now and then. How could he betray me? You know, like, what are we talking about here? But you'll never convince him of who he is. He's never... In order for a person to really embrace change and change who they are, they got to understand what they are or what they were. You know what I'm saying? How could you change anything if you've never acknowledged what you become, what you are? Crash Out said, I got one uncle that did more than 10 years and another uncle that became a bad rug addict after he ruined their lives because they worked for him. I wouldn't doubt it. A guy like that leaves misery in his wake. You know, he's like a boat going through the water and everything that's spreading out in the back is just bad. All the water just spreading out back there, it's just bad, man. He leaves hell in his wake. You couldn't be friends with the dude. He was the type of dude that was impossible to be friends with. Selena's two-faced unaliver. Same kind of deal. You'll never convince that lady of what she was, how insecure she was, how empty she was. She ain't going to talk about it. You know? These people move off. That's what it is when people are moving off emotions. That's it right there. You know? Moving off of these feelings of inadequacy. Fuck out of here. And then, as soon as you lock them up, they're like, oh, can I have some water? And this pillow's not fluffy enough. And listen, you had an old lady and some kids hogtied. What do we care about your comfort? You buckling.
Ordered and profited from. As for Glenn Llewellyn, after cutting ties with Saul, he had left Chicago for Las Vegas, where he found Jesus and became a church-going business.
See? Llewellyn was hiding behind Jesus. Definitely hiding behind Jesus. You can't tell me nothing different. Definitely hiding behind Jesus. Southside Mexican said when he got busted, did he lock it up over everything? Did he get locked over everything he did, or was he still walking the main line? I don't know. I got some information, some jail information on him. I'm going to look him up. Maybe one day we interview him, see what happens. Jonathan said, my gen, a lot of cats didn't want to work for it. They just took it and changed the game. It used to be a handshake in your word. Right, that was the ecosystem. The ecosystem worked that way. Handshake in the word, and until somebody crossed you, there wasn't no drama. You figured it out and you made it happen. Now it's like, it's cutthroat. It's, you know, they watched Goodfellas. They saw Robert De Niro's character decide that he didn't want to pay for, split the difference with everybody, so he'd much rather, it was cheaper for him to get rid of him. You know, that's a different kind of greed. You can't trust that kind of greed. Crash Out said the whole neighborhood knew he killed Baby G from day one. Even as kids called it. Baby G used to pass out dollars to all of us as kids at the candy store. No shit. He was a PC from the jump, Crash Out said. That's the answer right there, according to Crash Out, Southside Mexican. He said, damn, he's still alive? Oh, yeah, he's still alive. He's doing 17 million years. No, but he got his 40 years to do. He's definitely still alive. Ian Eslip salutes. Ian Eslip on the check-in. Salutes to you. Hundreds up. Salutes. Please hit the like button on the way in. Appreciate you. But yeah, so Llewellyn was definitely hiding behind Jesucristo right here. Absolutely. He was praying every day real deep that they weren't going to come get his ass. And he's so arrogant and he's so privileged that when they got there, he was like, come on, that was 5 years ago. You think that's enough answer? Was that ever enough answer for somebody that you locked up, even if you locked them up legitimately? Was that ever enough answer for you? When you kidnap people, was it ever enough answer that, that happened a long time ago? No. Who do you think you are? You know? Southside Mexican said, crazy SMA, salute to all y'all fam from Southern Cali. Salutes to you, salutes to Southern Cali, man. I appreciate you. Crash Out said there was more cops involved too. Absolutely, I'm sure. Because from my understanding, Saul said his house, got a house across the street from the police station, camered out, you know what I'm saying? And he stood in there like a little Gargamel evil mastermind and shit. Not the brightest one, grew. And he plotted. But this guy right here separated himself, went to Nevada, or went to, I think they said Vegas, and he hid behind Jesus at the Oasis Baptist Church.
This owner with strong family ties, left and profited from. As
Come
for
on,
Glenn
Llewellyn.
Llewellyn,
But I'm sure there was way more cops. That we don't hear about it. Jonathan said Finnegan vibes. It's a different scale, same story, just different nuances to it, but same story and same neighborhoods.
cutting ties with Saul, he had left Chicago for Las Vegas.
Chicago, my kind of town.
Where he found Jesus and became a church-going business owner with strong family ties, according to his.
He didn't find Jesus enough to turn himself in, right? Wouldn't that be the real change? Wouldn't that be the, I done found Jesus. I'm not going to be this dirty cop Llewellyn no more. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna turn myself in and pay my debt to society. He didn't find Jesus that hard, right? Nah, he didn't find Jesus that hard.
Lawyers. Without directly admitting to any crimes or showing remorse, Llewellyn argued that his life in Chicago was behind him, and nothing was to be gained from locking up a man in his 50s.
Yeah, that's what he argued. I'm in Vegas now, man. My life in Chicago's behind me. That's the arrogance in him. That's the privilege in him that he could find the nerve to say that. In the long run, it worked. He served some time in prison, but then the judge, Gotcha, who didn't get nothing, she went and she bailed him out.
Health problems, who was sure to be mistreated when he got behind bars.
You should have been mistreated when you got
showing
behind
remorse.
bars. You mistreated people. You know what I'm saying? You mistreated people, man.
Llewellyn argued that his life in Chicago was behind him, and nothing was to be gained from locking up a man in his 50s with health problems, who was sure to be mistreated when he got behind bars, and people discovered who he was. Llewellyn was given 18 years in prison. But just 7 years into the sentence, he was granted an early release and set free due to health reasons. During his time of incarceration, he filed court papers claiming that his only true crime was involvement in illegal gambling, and that during trial, he was placed in a situation where he would have had to admit to gambling crimes in order to defend himself from the RICO charges. He made this argument unironically, as if betting on sporting events was the legal and moral equivalent of hog-tying and robbing cocaine traffickers alongside men who murdered people and flooded the streets with drugs. At any rate, Llewellyn is now in his late 60s and has stayed out of legal trouble since his release, nearly 4 years ago.
Since his release, when the judge came and rescued him and said he's too fat, too drunk and dried out now because he's behind bars, he's dying inside and we can't let him die on our watch. So we're going to send him, his hairline and his mustache back home. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think he deserved that. I think he should have stood where he was at because he wouldn't have had no mercy on nobody. He didn't have no mercy on nobody. He didn't even take his Jesus' mercy and go turn himself in when he found Jesus. So I don't get it. Ian said he should have been locked up a long time ago. Yeah, I mean, you let me run things. I gotta empty the prisons. I gotta get rid of the waste.
We'll end this story with an update on the case of Refugio Cortez Ruiz.
Refugio, did you get out, bro? Come on, man. You too cool in that jacket, that shirt, that hat, and that beard to still be locked up, bro. I hope you're free right now, man.
The man who was sentenced to 17 and a half years in prison after Llewellyn arrested him for possessing 10 kilos of cocaine in 1999. During the investigation, the true story behind Cortez Ruiz's arrest became known. While there were some definite indications that Refugio Cortez Ruiz was involved in cocaine, these new revelations about his arrest made the case unprosecutable. He was released from federal prison in 2009 after serving 10 years for a crime that federal prosecutors now admitted was built on the word of a man they no longer trusted.
10 years that you cannot give the man back. I don't care what you pay. Time is priceless. Time is priceless. Do we sell it every day? Absolutely. But time is priceless, man. And you can't give him that back. All because this walrus right here was greedy. And that Muppet was greedy. And that they found the loopholes and the cracks in the system to manipulate their way into control of other people's lives to the point where they took 10 years away from Buddy that was living his life. Shout out Crash Out. He said way more money than what was mentioned. I've seen them counting M's multiple times. My uncles could bench press 400 keys. The duffel bags had to be dragged out because they were so heavy. I believe it. I believe it. Again, there's a whole lot they're not going to tell. There's a whole lot of horrible details and circumstances that the walrus and the Muppet, had something to do with that they won't tell us about. Because then that judge got to explain why she's letting Buddy out of jail, 8, 9 years early. Chucky Chigone said, cops are dirty. We had a task force called Mantis that would rob dealers. They got my boy for a brick and charged him. Oh, this shit is in the way. For abuser's amount. Jesus. He said he wasn't going to argue about it. Yeah, no. No, what you going to do? What you going to do when you got, when you got Denzel Washington, Alonzo on you? You know what I'm saying? This walrus hanging off your back, looking for payment. That Muppet, Count the count from Sesame Street over there. 1 kidnapping. 2 kidnapping. Let's see his face. We're gonna see his face again. Ain't that some ish? The Walrus got more sympathy. The government can't have one of their own doing football numbers. No. And he didn't even have football numbers. He'd have been all right. But look at him. He was dying at home in Vegas, in the church. Big, fat, red-faced, alcoholic walrus. You know? Not looking good. And Judge Gotcha was like, we got to get our boy out of there. And they went and they got him.
Refugio Cortez Ruiz later sued the city of Chicago and received a $400,000 settlement.
$400,000 for 10 years.
Less than half of what the city of Chicago had paid Saul Rodriguez as he robbed, kidnapped, murdered.
Ha! So the guy that you throw in jail wrongly gets less money in his settlement than the guy that lied to put him there. Bananas.
And arranged for men to be framed, all while holding himself.
Beautiful city, though. A beautiful, murderous, deadly bitch is what she is. She's betraying. She'll betray you. She'll show you the world. She'll take you out. She'll bring you home. She'll knock you down. She'll pick you up. This city is a double-edged sword, a love-hate relationship, you know? I love her and I hate her all at the same time, equally.
Himself up as the most valuable police informant in town.
Boom. Shout out to Buddy's Patreon subscribers. Shout out to, what's it called? Killer Chronicles. We're going to put the link in the description on the edited version. I'll throw up his logo up there so people know where to find it. But yeah, he's a horrible human being, though. Your boy Saul. Now we got to go look at him again, though. The count. Hold on. We got to find him. Here you go. Where's he at? 1 million kidnappings. 2 million kidnappings. 3. Look at this guy. Jeez Louise, man. Again, you saved. Now, I don't know what other skeletons you got in your closet, but you saved yourself from the absolute bottom of the barrel thus far. We're going to see. We're going to talk to some people and see if your creepiness goes beyond what we already know. All right? We're going to figure it out. They had to pay her off. She was too lenient. That or they had dirt on her. She was probably a sucia at the company parties. You know what I mean? They probably had some dirt on the judge. Judge got y'all. She's like, I got y'all at the company party. Por sucia. Sheesh. Salutes. I appreciate y'all being here, man. We've been hanging out. It's been a good time. Got my mind off of shit over here. And we busy making fun of Saul. Did he earn it? Does he deserve it? Absolutely deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. So I'm going to end the stream soon, but let's see if we can get through my scene on Chicago PD before we get clapped. If we get clapped, I'll be back to say goodbye because I appreciate y'all that much. So just sit tight if I get clapped and I'll get the stream back popping. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Chuck G. Gong said, I'll be your way in August, Bloomingdale, Illinois for my son's wrestling. Gonna have to get some spots from you, OG. Absolutely, man. We'll get up. Stay in contact with me before that. Reach out to me in the comments or somewhere. Get in the Discord. Again, my socials are up there, so you can hit me on any of those as well. And we'll figure it out. Your son's a wrestler, huh? Nice. Whoop some ass. Whoop some ass in Bloomingdale. These dudes ain't tough. Handle that shit. But yeah, let's see if we can get through my. I got clapped on my channel for this video. Let's see how long it takes for us to get clapped here. I'll stop it and stop and go as to not get popped off by YouTube, the YouTube police. The YouTube police. Let me see. Where is it? Content. For those that didn't catch the beginning of this stream, make sure you catch the replay. Again, please hit the like button. If you have yet to subscribe, please do hit the notification bell so you can get notifications. If you guys are looking for better better notifications about when I'm dropping a live or when I'm dropping a video, your best bet would be the Discord. Much better notifications than YouTube. And we're waiting for YouTube to catch up to us, man. But again, I appreciate you guys. You guys been riding with me strong. It's been a hell of a couple of weeks. Had birthdays, we had up days, we had down days. But let me put the Discord in. I'm going to pin the Discord to the top right here. Buyout. Pin the Discord to the top. There's a Discord invitation. You make a name, you go in there, and we'll figure you out from there. Salutes to y'all. I appreciate you guys being here. Let's find my. So I don't know. Maybe in this reaction I'll go through it a little bit. I get these questions, and so I recently on my Instagram posted the episode that I was on, the scene that I was in, and I also posted the audition, so you can see the work that was put in. The subtle difference in the work that was put in to actually get the job. You guys got to understand, for actors, you could be 70 auditions in and not get booked for a role. It's a numbers game, you know what I'm saying? And it's a numbers game, but those 70 auditions are for all the time that you're not actually acting, doing the job. Those 70 auditions got you doing the work. You know what I'm saying? And as you do the work, you get better in what you're doing. You get more comfortable and confident in what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Chuck E. Cheese gonna say you're gonna be on the series or just episodes? No, I'm just on this episode that I know of now. If somebody wants to bail me out of jail, maybe they call me back. They got another opportunity for me. Again, I played a dirtbag scumbag in this. You know what I'm saying? So, Crash Out says 6,202 subscribers on the road to 10K. Absolutely. Salutes to you, Crash Out. I appreciate you. We definitely on the road to 10K. But yeah, so this was just this episode. Is it always a possibility when the guy survives an episode that they can bring him back later? Yeah. I played a dirtbag in this. I played the muscle for a human trafficker. As y'all will see in the scene. Again, all of these other channels, I continue to find more and more Howard Stern episodes with full frontal nudity on YouTube. And they're not shut down, and YouTube is over here fucking with me. They didn't let me put up my own scene in the on my own YouTube channel. They blocked that, and I just think it's bullshit. There's all kind of full frontal nudity on YouTube. There's all kind of full-on Marvel movies. I just don't understand how these people are getting away with it. I hope to figure out how they're getting away with it so that I can do it myself, not the full frontal nudity part, but post what I want to post on my channel. And not get it popped off. Chuck said, "Oh man, you got locked up." Definitely got locked up. So again, it takes a lot of auditions. I mean, for some actors, it's different. I know a guy, friend of mine. He just did he just came out in a commercial with Benny the Bull. They're in the airport, basketballs all over the place, and he's been on all of these Chicago One shows. And that guy, he got in the game. And things instantly started working for him. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that for everybody. Some people, it takes longer. Sometimes you come in like that and it's hot and then it slows down for you. So it's a very ebb and flow kind of game. You know what I mean? So it takes a lot of auditions and it takes a lot of work, to get it done. Maybe I'd probably be better off showing the version on my Instagram, because it's not as clear as this one. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, if they clap me, I'll be back. Jonathan Pantoja said, I was wondering if you ever got interrogated, bailed, or sentenced. In real life or on this thing? On this show? Let me know what you're talking about. Real life? Nah, I've never been interrogated. I mean, I've been locked up a lot, thrown in the room, thrown in the gang book. All kind of stupid shit that didn't make no sense, but yeah. But nothing serious, nothing for me to, have to be interrogated or, locked up. I've been bailed out, all kind of shit. Ian Eslip said YouTube is crazy. YouTube is dumb. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what they're doing. But again, it takes, Jonathan said the show. On the show, no, there was no interrogation, no bail, no nothing as of yet. If they decide that they want to call me back, I'm open to it. You know what I mean? Salutes to them. But as of this point, I just got my ass. We'll see. We'll take a look at what it is right here. But yeah, again, it takes a lot of auditions to get the role. This is one of my biggest roles on television thus far. I've had much smaller roles than this. This is, one scene, but it's a decent amount of scene. All my friends was like, "Damn, dog, you was on there for a long time." It'd be like that. It's a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Chuck Chingon said, Cook County Jail is burst. It's crazy. Cook County Jail is the worst. Yeah, and I hate filming there. I hate filming in any prison. I filmed there. I filmed Joliet. I don't like it. They just got no Miranda rights. They just got you no Miranda rights. You're right, man. I should be able to get out of there. I gotta holler at my lawyer, see what happens. But let's see if I can do this. I'm gonna try my best to, I don't know, not get flagged. Let's see what's happening.
I got a male headed your way.
All right, we got flagged already. All right, knock it down for a second. That's basically the gist of the scene right there. All right. Warning, heads up, we've detected video in your stream belonging to someone else. Now let's see if I could go to the Instagram joint. Cosa Nostra is officially Eddie in my mind. Eddie is man, what's his name? Give me one sec. Salutes, appreciate you, Chucky. Chucky said, good job, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's basically the gist of the scene. Then they come in and they lock me up. I'm trying to keep from getting clapped over here. So I'm gonna calm that down, and maybe I'll move to the Instagram version for the rest of it. Jonathan, that shit is funny. But that kid Eddie, I'm trying to get his name real quick. Because shout out to him, shout out to Leroyce. They looked out. It was a good time. Shout out Ian. Salutes to you. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. Let me see. Torres. Because as far as I was concerned, he was Eddie that day. Dante Torres is the character. Benjamin Aguilar. Salutes Benjamin Aguilar, talented Guatemalan actor that I got to meet and work with that day. It was a lot of fun. Salutes to him. He did a great job. He was very conscious of the character, conscious of the scene, how to figure out the scene, make it better, which Intel helped my performance, along the way, and it was a noticeable difference. So I appreciate him. Salutes to him. That's this guy right here, buddy that plays, where'd it go? Eddie. So Eddie is he's an undercover cop, so that's not really his name. His name is Torres, for those that don't watch the show. You had that look like you better give up the name. Do I put yourself do I put you in hoodie mode? Right. Yeah, it was weird too, because like I'm playing a dirtbag, but I kind of want to beat up the dirtbag, and I had to deal with that, because when you're in the other room, there was another hotel room, and that room was kind of pushing that it was underage girls that they had, and there was clothing everywhere and shit, and it was like it was a bit of a mind fuck, because I went in there wanting to fuck dude up, but as a character, I've done this a million times. I'm supposed to go in there knowing what I'm doing, search dude, ask him the questions, whatever. But in my real life, in my real soul, I wanted to smash Eddie. You know what I mean? Shout out Crash Shot. Say you did a great job, broski, on your acting. Salutes to you. Thank you, sir. Let me see this. Open a new tab. So yeah, this is Buddy that played Eddie. All right, Benjamin Aguilar. Salutes to him. Great job. He killed it. They made a brother feel at home. It was all love. It was a good day. Got out early. It was easy work. And shout out Leroyce Hawkins. He was clowning. We had a good time. He didn't make the scenes awkward. Some actors will try to make shit awkward for you. Nah, man. Buddy was chilling. You know what I'm saying? Shout out LaRoyce Hawkins. You know what I'm saying? It was a good day of work. It was a great day of work. We had a good time, and the job got done. They didn't cut my scene, and then we was on and popping. So, salutes to everybody. Salutes to my agent Vilma Cologne. Vilma Cologne. What am I talking about? Who's Vilma Cologne? But shout out Vilma, Dream Team Talent. And let me get this out of here. I can't believe that this thing updated and didn't work no more. But yeah, it was a good day. We got that out. Let me see if I can play the Instagram version and not get clapped. Because they trying to clap me. They want to clap me. I'm working against it. Let's do this here. From my understanding, it's when they can see the video and the audio at the same time that it's a problem. All right, so let me go to this Instagram here. See if I can do this. How y'all feel about this Kendrick versus Drake and Cole situation? I'm excited about it. I think it's good. I think it's about bars. IB said, I'd love to see more lives with you talking about this kind of stuff and whatever you have going on professionally. Good stuff. Congrats, bro. I appreciate you, IB. Thank you. Yeah, people have said that before. I'll probably, once we hit 10,000 subscribers here, maybe I'll open up another channel that I dedicate strictly to acting and movies and TVs, and I could cover everything over there. Reviews, my own acting experience, and things like that. It'll be more of a miscellaneous situation. But we got to hit 10,000 subs here first before I move over there. Salutes. Shout out Ryek. Shit, that was dope. And the Oscar goes too. Salutes to you, Ryek. Appreciate you. Jonathan says, Shael, are you able to put the art and the artist in different categories? Are you able to put the art and the artist in different categories? Okay, I see what you mean. Like, can I still listen to R. Kelly type of thing? For me, because I believe so strongly on certain things, sometimes it's not just separating the art, it's just separating the idea of that person's existence. You know what I'm saying? So it might keep me from the art for a long time, but I believe eventually I'd come back to the art, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the best way I could explain it. Like, it ain't that I'm holding the art, I'm not holding the art responsible for the artist's actions, but I also don't want to be reminded about it. You know what I'm saying? It frustrates me. Shout out Zacatecas. Saludos to the twins. They're from my town. Jalpa, Zacatecas. Salutes to you. Appreciate you being here. Southside Mexican said, when will you be doing another live with P and J? Soon. We're gonna, I was gonna come out here and be like, y'all scared them away, but we'll talk to them soon. Again, they're busy men. But we'll get them popping ASAP, and we'll make sure you know. Make sure you get in the Discord so you get the notification when it does happen. Shout out Chucky Chingong. He said J. Cole is a beast like Kendrick though. That's what I'm talking about. The best showcase your skills. Yeah, I had a friend hit me up, and he was worried that this is gonna turn into a beef, and people might lose their lives over it. And I reassured him that I don't think that's the case. I don't think this is a Biggie Tupac situation. Biggie and Tupac wasn't a Biggie and Tupac situation. I think this is about bars. Because the guy that painted it in a short video, he painted it as the Avengers on one side and, Justice League on the other side. And to me, it's not about that. Forget about Future. Forget about 21 Savage. Forget about the rest of these guys. This is about Cole, Kendrick, and Drake. And it's about bars. You know what I'm saying? And I'm hoping, everybody keeps their emotions in check, because last time Drake allowed Jay Prince to end the beef between him and Pusha, and it's like, oh wait, we needed another response. You know what I'm saying? So, stop getting in y'all feelings. Y'all decide to have these better. If you're there to call yourself the best lyricist, you didn't sit there and call yourselves the best unalivers. Y'all call yourselves the best lyricists, right? So if you the best lyricist, put your best foot forward and don't get your shit knocked off. You know what I mean? It's easy. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's good. I liken it to the to the Clemenza and Michael Corleone scene in The Godfather, where he says, it's good every 5-10 years to have a little war. You know what I'm saying? You get the bad blood out. And I believe they dropped the ball when Kendrick came at them on Control. And I believe the time is now. Everybody, and Kendrick ain't got nobody holding him back. He's off TDE. They can do their thing. Let's keep this lyrical. Let's do our thing. Zacatexas said, love your channel. I appreciate you. He said, wish you nothing but the best. We appreciate you, Zacatexas. We'll have the twins on more often. We're gonna do a bunch of other things, but you know, time only allows what it allows. Look what we did since February. Understand, guys? The twins came on the first time. I think it was February 3rd or something like that. And think about all the things we've done in those days. And it was a short month. Chuck Chigong said that Pride is the Devil Jam is fire. Absolutely. IB said, yeah, man, I think this is a beef between two artists who move totally different than almost all other rappers as far as I can tell. Absolutely, man. And, you know, I want to see it for the sport. I want to see it. But again, I liken it to this right here. I liken it to this scene in The Godfather when Clemenza told Michael these things got to happen every 5 years or so, 10 years. Helps get rid of the bad blood. And I think that's necessary. I think they need that right now. So salutes to them. Salutes to Kendrick. He did it again. He stepped out and stopped the talk and said, hey, let's get it. And that wasn't a full diss. He was just throwing shots. Let's see what happens. Crash Out said, wasn't the twins the first ones to sign Drake? And he just kept the money and never returned it? I don't think that was the story, but they had the opportunity to sign Drake. Yeah, they had the opportunity to sign Drake and something went left. They've told that story here. Again, it's hard for me to keep it all together. But you're on the replay replenishments, Crash Out. So you're gonna find that conversation along the way somewhere, for sure. And if not, then we're gonna have to talk to the twins about it next time they're here. IB said for the sport. Yeah, man, we need it for the sport, man. Salutes to them. All right, salutes to them. So let's do this right here. So I'm gonna. Oh, can I skim through this? Let me see. So now we got it here. I want to show y'all the. I'm gonna let it play out till it gets to where we were at over there. All right. Let me turn this off. I'm gonna let it play out to where we were at. I'm gonna let it go. Right. I'm checking Buddy's pockets. Salutes Crash Out. He said, I'm still going back and catching up. Yeah, if you're really into the story, that would be the thing to do because a lot was covered. A lot of different perspectives that we didn't get from the podcast that we got from conversations with them or conversations that we got with Val and stuff like that. So, you know. All right, so let me get to right here. Right? That's it. Now this is the audition. I should be okay with this.
Can I help you?
You ready?
Yeah, who the hell are you?
Put your arms out. Now!
I'm clean. I don't got anything on me.
Drugs? Alcohol? Dinner? Party with your girlfriend?
No.
What's your full name, Eddie?
I'm not telling you my full name.
Oh, you telling me your full fucking name?
No, I'm not. Get off. I'm with the girl on the web, man. I ain't just telling you Jack. You already know that. I got nothing on me. We ain't gotta do 20 questions. We good? We're not good.
Oh, we not good, Mom.
You gonna leave now? What's up?
Money. I take your cash.
150. There you go.
So there you have it, y'all. That was my my little stint, my little time on Chicago PD. Before that, I had done Chicago Fire. I don't know if I even got that one here. Let me see. And that was a very small scene. It was a scene at a car accident. But there's other things in the pipeline, other things that we got lined up. Things that have happened that haven't released. Oh, here goes the... this is the Chicago Fire joint. Let's see. If you blink, you'll miss me. And that was it. Scene. It was a wrap after that. Backed up, and that was it. A bunch of hurry up and wait that day, and the day was over. So salutes. So that was Chicago Fire a couple years ago. I've been on Med as an extra and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. Shout out IB. Let me see. Hold on. Let me go back a little bit. Crash Out said, I'm still going back and catching up, bro. Yeah, I appreciate that. Jonathan said, I think Crash Out got that from Cash and Al Profit. IB said, this is some crazy little Portal community that just came out of nowhere around all this, but I'm here for it. Salutes to you, IB. I appreciate you being here. Again, same thing for us. All right. This the Flores twin story branched off into, us having this community. And again, we react to all kind of things here, but the brunt of it is that. Shout out Chucky Chingong. He said, crazy, you gotta. Oh no, shout out Crash Out. He said, no, I'm from the streets of Chicago, Jonathan. Yeah, I'm not gonna say Crash Out is not from here. I'm gonna give him his props. Chucky Chingon said, crazy, you gotta really get into character. That's the game, man. You gotta be that dude. You gotta bring that dude as close to you as possible. That character as close to you as possible. IB said, is this on your local network or it's broadcast nationally? It's national. I believe it's NBC. But yeah, it's national. Chicago PD and Chicago Fire. They're Dick Wolf shows. Let's see what else I got here. Y'all want to see me be a goofy? I got me being a goofy, and I'm just a dude with a
Welcome back, Construction World. We're at the highly anticipated 2021 Mini Excavator Draft.
I'm so nervous. Feel how wet my palms are.
I'm all right, Bobby. Here's the commissioner now.
With their top pick in the Mini Excavator Draft, Naples Pool and Spa selects the Cat 303CR.
Naples Pool and Spa going with Caterpillar to do the work.
I bet they'll be cranking that AC down in Florida, right, Gus?
That's pretty obvious, Bobby. They will be doing that. Let's go down to Taylor now.
pretty obvious, Bobby.
Congratulations to you both. Take us through what you're feeling
Look at this
right
jerk
now.
off. I can't even put it into words.
Oh, Joseph. He's waited his whole life to own a cat excavator. I mean, it's the perfect fit for what we do, especially with the long stick option for more reach and depth.
And to have AC in a sealed, pressurized cab, won't have to work in a puddle of my own sweat anymore.
There's no question the 303CR will
Big
change the
goofy
way
ass
you
son.
work. Back to you, Gus.
See, there's going to be a troll in here any minute talking about, that's the real him right here. Yeah, an excavator. Sure, asshole. You know what I'm saying? Chucky said, do you smoke before you go sober to stay focused? Yeah, no, pretty much I go sober to stay focused, but I'm not against smoking. Like, I know, I wouldn't smoke like right before heading to set type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But like in my, I'm getting through it, getting to work, getting through hair, getting through makeup, getting dressed and all of that. Before that, I'm good to I get a little lit and then boom. But when it's time to go to set, I'm focused. Crash Out said you got a good chance at being a permanent character in one of these shows or even bigger. I'll watch a show starring you, broski. Salute to you. I'm hoping to get on something, man. I'm gonna keep working and grinding out till we, get something popping there. And yeah, I'll keep y'all posted on the next stuff. But yeah, we had that. Let me see if there's something else that I could pull up real quick that's right around here. Let's see. Again, I told you that's the homie Max right there. Right? Taught me basically everything I know about acting. All right, salutes to Max. Rilo in the plaza. Salutes to you, Rilo. Appreciate you being here. Let's see what else I got here. Put that. Got a Lupe trailer right here now. But yeah, that's it for now. I'll show y'all some other stuff when the next time we go down a little actors memory lane. I got one right here if y'all want to check this out. This is me getting my ass whooped. I'm sure everybody would like to see me get my ass whooped.
Play 3 hands. Lowest hand loses.
Oh, is this just the trailer?
Last man standing wins.
Oh yeah, it's just the trailer.
The Jackson family has two representatives, Hoyt and Eli. Cheating, automatic loss. Folding, automatic loss.
That's my boy Bobby. Good actor.
Ready?
Real good actor. Keenan Odenkirk. Another good actor. Okay, so that was just the trailer. I thought I had the scene. You know, this is a picture right here with Patrick Blake and Uncle Murda, Fred the Godson. Rest in peace. This was at the reading for the musical that I co-wrote with Patrick Blake. All right, this is New York City. All right. Salute Uncle Murda. Rest in peace, Fred the Godson. Let me see. All right, but I think that's pretty much it for the day. I don't see no trailers or no clips around here close. Just images and stuff. But yeah, man, listen, you do the work, it'll come to you, man. If you want to do something, all you got to do is figure out what the work is, and when you do that work, it'll happen for you. Oh, here we go. I got another piece of footage here from a film I was in. Is this a trailer too? Let me see.
Hey, Sonia?
What?
Is anyone you know not a poser?
Meaning?
Poser. Fake. Fraud. Misrepresentation of their true self. Sorry, I don't know the
That's the homie Ryan Satterfield, another good actor from Chicago. Bunch of good talent from Chicago.
exact dictionary definition.
Want one? Dude, you fighting a good fight, man. That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
Are you concerned with fighting for what's right, or are you concerned with looking concerned? Think about it.
I'm concerned with fighting for what's right.
I did!
What do you do for the common good? What do you care about?
Yeah, so that's another short film I was in right
Hey, Sonia?
there.
What?
Is anyone you
So yeah,
know...
man. Also said I was there. Yeah, he was there for the Fred the Godson. Man, everybody was there that night. It was me and Also had just he was on his way landing from Puerto Rico, and I was already waiting for him to land so I could call him and tell him that we had to go to New York that night, and we went straight to New York like that night or the next morning, something like that. So yeah, Also was there. Shout out Chucky Chingon. He said, "You ever hear Old Tucson or Tombstone, where they make the westerns?" I have. My good friend came out in Tombstone and Young Guns. Listen, I'm a big Young Guns guy, dog. Big Billy the Kid guy. But yeah, I want to go out there. There's a couple of places that I want to go out there out west that I want to go see, you know. I want to go to Lincoln County, all of that. I want to do all of that. So I'll check in on you when we get out there and be like, yo, I'm going to retract Billy's steps. We're going to go find Brushy Bill's body and confirm this situation. But yeah, man, so that was a couple of the joints that I've been in right there. Fun stuff. Again, if you want to do it, it's right there for the taking. You just got to make it happen. I appreciate y'all. What time is it? It's 10:30 in Chicago. Salute to y'all. Hope y'all having a great day, great evening. Hope you guys have good money. Get good money on Monday. Get that bread. Make it happen. And we'll be back soon. Tuesday I'm gonna go try to make some moves for the channel. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Just looking to see if there's anything else I can run into real quick here that we could just get out the way in this segment. But that it looks like it's it, man. We got a couple photo shoots from premieres and stuff. Y'all can start throwing y'all hundreds up in the chat. Let me run through this chat real quick and salute the people that came through. Shout out 030 North, Jonathan, Big June, salutes to you. PR Black, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Pelon, salutes to you. 24K, I appreciate you. Yael, as usual, I appreciate you. 48, you are appreciated. Sky Enterprise, thank you very much. Peter, per usual, thank you for coming through. Aquino, thank you for checking in. I don't know if the game's over. The game's still popping. Jonathan Pantoja, salutes to you. SoCal, I appreciate you. Also, per usual, sir. Pebs, appreciate you stopping through. Ryek, thank you. Southside Mexican, appreciate you coming through. Let's see. Julio Caldena, salutes. 323G on the check-in, I appreciate you stopping by. Ryek, appreciate you. IB, thank you for joining the community. Chuck Chingong, per usual suspects, I appreciate you guys. Crash Out, thank you, bro. Your insight was very much welcomed. Luis Garcia, appreciate you being here. Let's see who else we got here. Shout out Southside Mexican. Shout out ENS Slip. Thank you for being here. Zaca Texas, I appreciate you for joining the community. Thank you for the subscription. Let's see. And I think I made it to the bottom. Rilo, I appreciate you coming through. Thank you. Hundreds up in the chat. Money Making Monday. Everybody, make sure you get it. IB said, bro, I'll come photograph you on that journey and paint your picture. I'm with it. Holla, get in the Discord. Let's see. Let's put up a section so people can show their artwork. Let's get it popping. Shout out Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. This was a great live, like always. I was making dinner, but I was listening to everything. Saludos, buen provecho. I hope your family is well nourished and understand that they are blessed to have somebody cooking for them. And if you're cooking for yourself, may you be blessed by yourself. Salutes to you, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Rilo, buenas noches to you. I appreciate you. We're going to go out the way we came in. We're going to do it in reverse, though. We're going to go Know That You Loved, and then we're going to go Lupe. Lupe is the story of it's a film that I did. As a matter of fact, I'll show you the, I got a couple images right here. This is from that film. That song Lupe was inspired by this film that I did with Fadi Haddad. These are pictures of that film. It's the story of a young lady kidnapped in Chicago, and 3 guys in the neighborhood that decide that they're gonna go find her. So I kind of broke down that film in the song from the character's perspective. I wrote the whole 8 songs from the album Vigil that I play. I wrote them all from the perspective of the character that I was playing. So I'm going to go out with Know That You Loved first, and then we're going to play Lupe on the way out. Y'all have a great week. I will probably see y'all tomorrow, and we'll get it back popping. Get that money tomorrow. Don't let them hold you down. Don't let them tell you nothing. Do your part, and everybody's going to have to just deal with it, Everybody just going to have to deal with it. They can't complain if you're doing your part. They got to go worry about theirs. So let's get this right here back popping. We're going to start with Know That You Loved. As a matter of fact, let me pull up Lupe, because I want to play that on the way out as well. We'll go. Crash Out said, I love Lupe, broski. I've been bumping in my headphones on the late night. I appreciate you, bro. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Put them up on it. Thank you for being here. Salutes to y'all. Salutes to everybody that joined the Discord. Salutes to Jonathan Pantoja for his donos. I appreciate you, bro. You are always appreciated. Let me get Lupe lined up over here before we get out of here. Where is she? Where is she? Here we go. I got her right here. We're gonna start with Know That You Love. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great night, and I will see y'all mañana. Peace. Let's get this popping. hard to see the road in the distance, when the only thing you know is you're distant. When it's hard to hold your soul when you lift it, when you're broken and you can't leave your kids shit. You try, but your eyes tell lies, your smiles are disguise, and no one knows you dying inside. When it hurts to feel, when you're bothered by the world, it's real. When you're staring at that bottle of pills, the bottom of that bottle of swill, the wrong end of that cold black steel, the great unknown. When everywhere but here's like home, you a man now but don't feel grown. Pushed through existence, current comfort zone is indifference. So uncomfortable in your skinness, hurting everybody you live with. When you're feeling like it's time you should end this, know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Just know that you're loved. 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 Know that you're needed. Know that you're necessary. You just depleted. You can be legendary. You not beneath it. You can get over. We can ride in and thieve it. Soak up a sunrise. Stare at a blue sky. Feel something brand new. Realize with new eyes. Uncover new truths. Find where the pain lies. Live like you're lightning. Cut through the gray skies. I know life is frightening. You can't help but ask why. Life doesn't like me. It's passing me right by. The future just fights me. And much rather I die than have to enlighten me and show me how I'd rise if given a chance. Some love in advance, a bit of compassion, some luck with romance. But why does it matter? Will is what does. You have the will to survive, so know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Know that you're loved. Just know that you're loved. 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 Was she mad at you? If you knew or understood why she loved, realized why she is precious, she important to us. How much she means to the future without the damage is done. You stand accused, the abuser who murdered daughters and sons. Kissed by stars, shadow killer light from afar. Eyesight with a spark, search for what she find in the dark. Small in the frame, big brain, mountain the heart. Good with a secret, no shame, like her, she smart. Maybe inside another life she find us a fine arts, but we ain't born with choices, so she hopeless when life's hard. Lost and alone for naked, live finding a way. Making alliance, be a loyal dog and wait for a day. The corner warned to the street lights, begged her to stay. The curb heard the crosswalk cry as she walked away. The church was hurt, praying she was one they could save. A disappointed system couldn't make her a slave.
If I could get past the day, I'd do it all a different way. I'd give myself half a chance. I wouldn't call the devil out to dance. If I could just catch a break, the difference is that I can make the type of pain that I could take. Yeah, I die before I choose to break.
There she is, I see how you look at her. You wish you could protect her, cause you see something good in her. You see what we all see, there's more than just the hood in her. We can see her greatness and devils trying to shoot at her. Chaos under madness, junkies trying to shoot her up. Old men trying to give her babies, white wolves out to chew her up. She more than just a throwaway, this more than just to shoot 'em up. More than just a poor girl, this cold world is using up. Tragedy, travesty, the murder of her majesty. Complete and utter blasphemy, end result catastrophe. Generations wiped out, the future is a casualty. Anything concerning her, I prefer you asking me. Also do it candidly, in a low tone with reverence, or end up in a box standing over you a reverend. She's sacred far as we concerned, this here is a holy place. Big brother, she chose to blow holes to your face.
If I could get past the day, I'd do it all a different way. I'd give myself half a chance. I wouldn't call the devil out to dance. If I could just catch a break, the difference is that I can make the type of pain that I could take. Yeah, I die before I choose to break.
Played to an early grave in a game she thought she could play. She might have made it a business to be a business one day, but all that business is finished. No hope for words left to say. No more lessons from mistakes. No graduation day. No getting over the awkwardness of being a teen. No more late nights on the block purling blunts for the team. More tears and vigils. More blood stains the streets. More division between the living, cutting flesh for the beef. Vengeance is on the table. This revenge is so sweet. Insatiable is the appetite, awaken the beast. Irrational thoughts and actions make the most sense to me. What's happening is gonna happen. We gon' die, we eat everything, every single motherfucking piece. And even then, no comparison to what you owe me. I have nothing, and only one thing left to gain. I promise I'ma walk you through flames, screaming a name.
If I could get past the day, I'd do it all a different way. I'd give myself half a chance. I wouldn't call the devil out to dance. If I could just catch a break, the difference is that I can make the type of pain that I could take.